All right, welcome to Football Focus Weekly, the Charlotte High School football preview show. I am the pet man, Matt Morrow, and please, if you are watching tonight, make sure you get comfortable. This is the biggest show of the year in terms of viewership, interaction, comments, and all of that good stuff. And we've got a lot. We've got a lot to talk about tonight as we're getting ready to go into the second week of scrimmages. But on the docket tonight, it's all Charlotte all the time. We'll start with private and charter school rankings and players to watch. We'll have conference predictions for all the schools in Charlotte. We'll debut the annual CMS Best to Last rankings. We're also going to have some special treats and surprises throughout the show that will be very exciting, and I can't wait for you to see. And I want to say off the top, big scrimmages Friday night. Make sure you go out and support your favorite teams. I'll echo that at the end of the show as well. We've got 4 comments already. Everybody's eager. 5 comments now. Good gracious. Okay. We'll start with our Clover guy back, Armani Bird. I don't know where you've been, Armani, man. It's good to see you. They got Providence Day Friday in the York Jamboree. There's a ton of jamborees going on all over the area. You'll hear about Providence Day here in just a minute. Our Dudley guys here. Ain't no Greensboro talk tonight, man. We all Charlotte, but I'm glad you're here. J-Man is here from Mooresville. Good to see you, man. Ready to see you put on another show out here on the field soon. Kim Watts is here. Good to see you. We'll be talking about your son's team here tonight, of course. Miss Dowd is back. Good evening. Good to see you. Appreciate you. Karen Belk in the house. Ready to talk about them Patriots. They're going to be on the docket tonight, Miss Belk. Mr. Mitchell, Huff Huskies fan, is here. Luke, now we talked about J.M. Robinson 2 weeks ago, man. That was Cabarrus County night now. It's Charlotte time. But I'll be there Friday. Friday, I'm going to the dog fight is what they're calling it. 10-team jamboree at J.M. Robinson in Concord. So I'll see you soon, Luke. The illustrious Brandon Billups is on the way home. We'll see you soon. He'll be in the comments. Well, thank you for the update, Miss Dow. We'll be talking about Chambers tonight. Absolutely. Mr. Peavy, we'll be talking about your son's program. That's Providence Day as well. All right, we got a lot of comments coming in. I can't get to everybody right now. But I did do some homework besides setting up the show. We got a season 7 intro, finally. I know I'm late with it. So I'm going to run the season 7 intro for the first time, and then we'll be back and we'll get going with the private schools in Charlotte. All right, season 7 intro. I see Billups really enjoying that in the comments there. I had to show you some love, man. I tried to find a more recent picture, but I couldn't find a recent picture of you. So it's all good, man. It's all good. You don't look terrible, man. You don't look terrible, man. And that was a throwback to when I was coaching at Waddell High School. Now, the guy in that picture was a great guy, CJ McCray, man. Passed away a couple of years ago. He was a great wide receivers coach. Moved down to Florida. Really good dude, man. So I wanted to honor that memory right there for sure. All right. We got guys here. So let's see who's here. First of all, he is the defensive or co-defensive coordinator. Let me get that right. Co-defensive coordinator at the Big I Independence High School. That is Adam Weber, Big I Shelby. Welcome.
What's going on, Pep? How you doing?
I'm good, man. I'm good. It's a big night, and we got numbers coming in, and it's gonna be a good night. I think it's gonna be a good night.
Yeah, big night. Just another night in the office for us.
And you guys are scrimmaging Friday. You told me it's at Rocky River now.
Yeah, it's been moved to Rocky River. Same teams, but it's just been locations changed. Same times. We'll just be at Rocky River High School.
All right, good deal. So make sure if you're going to that scrimmage, it's 4 teams: Independence, Weddington, Sun Valley. Who is I keep forgetting the 4th team.
RGK.
All right. So you checking out that game or scrimmage, I should say. Make sure you go over to Rocky River High School and check that out. Also with us, Coach Dub, Robert Washington from Mountain Island.
What's going on, Pep? What's going on, Webb?
What's going on, cuz?
How you doing?
I'm good, bro. I'm good. Just hanging in there.
Good. If you guys are not aware, on Instagram, Mountain Island has gone viral for some words that were shared.
Now, it's good for two-way football. Like, it's no real beef. I talked to the coach. Me and him communicated. It's all love. They competitive. We competitive. I would have done the same if I was them.
Okay. All right. Well, we're going to talk about that school, Corvian, if you guys are not aware. And, we'll get into that here shortly. And we'll have some more guys coming on the show here tonight. Stay tuned. We are going to have a lot to talk about. All right. So in the comments, we had many come in while the intro was running there. Let's see. Laramie Watson says concessions on me. Okay, now I'm gonna hold you to it. That's a long time, man. I'm out there for 5 hours. I'm gonna need something. So
now Laramie know how to eat.
Oh, I do too.
Listen, you can't trust everybody concession stand now. Some of these concession stands be janky.
I think it'll be pretty good up there. James Law says Huff versus Northwestern Saturday could be a good one. Okay. Well, James, let us know where it's at. Because I don't know where that is.
I think it might be at District 3. I think that's where they go.
Okay. All right. Well, if it's at District 3, Saturday, that's pretty good. That's another option to check out some more good football. James Blake Hopkins is here from Parkwood High School. We talked about Union County last week. Or was it two? No, it was last week. So all Charlotte tonight, but I appreciate you watching, man. Let's see. Raymond wants us to talk about the Mooresville Blue Devils. We did that last week, Raymond. It's up in the archives. So please feel free to go check that out. Let's see here. Davian Moore says Dub C here just to see the hate and take notes as usual. Ooh. We're looking for smoke at Dub C. I don't know how much you're gonna get tonight. Just a heads up. They're pretty good. James Law saying that's Friday. Okay. Well, so much for that. All right, appreciate that. Our buddy Shaquan is here. Yes, sir. Make sure you check him out on the highlights on YouTube. Right there at Shay Shot him, and all of his pictures on Instagram at the same name. He does an awesome job for us at CFI. All right. Billups, you got to get some more attendance in for a shirt. Okay. We'll leave it at that. All right. Let's get going. Private schools. Right off the top, these are the private and charter school preseason rankings. These are mine. Any rankings you see tonight are mine and mine only. I will continue to say that throughout the show. I'm not going to read all those names right there. I'll give you guys a second to take a look at the list. But right there, Providence Day quarterback Zaid Lott. And I told him at the media day when they were out there, I've been saying his name wrong for 2 years. I felt so terrible, but that is how you say his name. He's committed to Syracuse, and he's a great young man to talk to. Very talented, and Coach Grryer, said some really, really nice things about him in our talk at the media day last week. I put Charlotte Catholic in here because they've moved to a pretty much a Union County conference, and we're not gonna kind of lump them in with everybody else because of that. But I did want to talk about them because we didn't obviously talk about them last week on the Union County show. But I think they're going to be really strong with Coach Emery and those guys up there. Charlotte Christian consistently a well-coached team and a strong program. Charlotte Latin had a really good season last year. I think, those guys are poised to do well again this year. Along with Country Day. Country Day is on the rise. They've had some new guys coming in that program, and Coach Whitman's been there a long time. And I think they're going to do pretty well. And then we get to Corvian coming off the state championship appearance. They lost, some really good talent. But I think defensively, especially, they're going to be strong again. So, guys, what do you think about this list right here?
Well, I think it's pretty fluid. I think Providence Day is at the top in the state when it comes to private schools in the area until somebody knock them off. So,
I would move Corvian and Community School of Davidson up. I think they're better than Charlotte Latin.
Really?
Yeah, I think they're better than Charlotte Latin.
I mean, Latin won, 8 games last year in a pretty strong private school league.
Yeah, they did win, but I mean, we played them the year prior. And I mean, if you're talking about like leadership and everything, I think who's leading those programs, Corvian and Community School of Davidson is head above them. It's just my opinion. I played against all 3 of them. So
okay.
I just think they're a notch above that. And I get it, when you start talking about your traditional private schools, because it looks like Pep, your top 5 is your traditional privates. And I know a lot of people sleep on charter schools, but if you notice, charter school ball is getting better and better in the area. Corvian made it to the state championship last year and, got close to winning it. Community School of Davidson, don't sleep on them. I think they're going to have a very talented team. They're not, on social media, Instagram and stuff like that. They're not going back and forth, but they're quietly building. I'm pretty sure Corvian knows they're in the same conference. So that's going to be a great game. I think that's going to be probably one of the better games this year. It's Corvian versus Community School of Davidson. But as far as leadership, coaching, I just think they're a little notch above Charlotte Latin.
Okay. And the second half of the list is anybody that stands out to you guys. I'll talk about Ambassador Christian because they did come to the media day. And we have seen a lot of player movement, toward that school. They're interesting because they're kind of like an independent, and they're kind of playing all over the place against some really strong teams, out of state and things like that. Which it's interesting. It's really interesting. I told Coach Pogue, their head coach, I said I don't think I've ever seen a model like this, in Charlotte. And he said they're not trying to be IMG, but they've got a lot of name guys that went over to that school. And, I got them ranked kind of lower because I'm not sure, necessarily how it's going to come together. This is their first year of playing varsity football. They kind of played a JV schedule last year, and they did well with it. But I'll be really intrigued to see how well they come together, for this first season.
I think like you mentioned, a lot of people are calling them like the next IMG. I know. Are they private or public? Are they going to be like CTK, or are they playing in a private school league?
Well, they're playing public schools, but they're kind of scattered. It's interesting, but they are, to my knowledge, they're independent. So, but they do have some public schools in North Carolina on their schedule. But I don't know if they can play Charlotte schools. I don't think they have any Charlotte schools.
Yeah, that'd be interesting to see where they land, if they're private or public, and you'll start seeing how they move, because if they get more with the public school, I think it'll be a lot more restrictions on that movement that you mentioned, because the state will watch that a lot careful and close. But you can, when you're a private and you got public school kids coming to you, it's cleaner. You know what I'm saying? Because you're not governed by the same state association. But if they're public school, just be on the watch for that. But I think they're going to be very, very good. From everything I've heard, they're going to be loaded. Southlake Christian is going to be loaded. They're loading up. So I would definitely move Southlake Christian and Ambassador Christian above Lake Norman Charter. I know Lake Norman Charter, they did have a good season.
Yes.
Last year. They had a great season last year. But the thing there is the consistency. They've been up and down, up and down, up and down. But it looks like they're on their way up. So I don't want to sleep on them. But I just think Southlake Christian, Ambassador Christian, it's going to be a step above them. And then also, you can't sleep on Christ the King. Christ the King is one of those schools that, you never know what you're going to see each year. I mean, we've been playing them for the last 8 years. Mm-hmm. And I know the first 4 years, they was building. And then I look out one game there in pregame, it's like 5 dudes, 6'5" across the line. And it's like, what in the world? So and they get good, but that program is going to always be well ran, well coached. So and then Covenant Day. So this list is a real solid list. I mean, outside of the ones I mentioned, I think this is a solid list, Pep.
Okay. Chris Peavy is sharing that Ambassador is a private school.
Appreciate that, Chris. Yeah, and that's why you probably seeing a lot of the stuff that we're seeing. You know what I'm saying? And because you see it public to private, private to public. It's just when you go from public to public, it starts getting a little more tricky. But I can. That program is going to be on its way up. The problem with a lot of these schools like that is just them being consistent. Mm-hmm. We always see schools pop up here, pop up there, and they build momentum. Can you carry that momentum for years? And I'm talking about like 10 years plus. Mm-hmm. That's when you start talking about the Providence Days, the Catholics, the Christians, the Latins, the Country Days. They've been consistent for years. Right. And outside of Latin was been down for the last couple of years up until last year. But for the most part, those 5 teams have been powerhouses in the private school. And it's been hard for schools to break that. I mean, when I was at Southlake Christian, we won a couple of championships and we was moving in that direction. And then, they won a couple years later, they won a couple more championships. But it's hard to get that consistent standard. And that kind of speaks more to it gives more respect to your Providence Days, your Catholics, your Christians, the Country Days, Latins that can consistently keep that going for decades. Because there's something to be said about that. So it's one thing being the new kids on the block, and it's another thing with being consistent.
Absolutely. In the comments, Keith Rhodes is saying Ambassador will be better. Well, they've only had one season, and they went undefeated in that JV season. So, I mean, if they don't, you can't get much better than that. But I appreciate the support there, Keith. And I know, they appreciate it as well. Nizzle, what's up, man? Good to see you. Appreciate you, checking us out. We'll have some more guys joining the show here in a little bit. Let's see here. Lindell Porter is sharing that he hopes the best for the guys at Christian and some very, very good players. Thank you for that, Mr. Porter, because that's going to segue to some players. So defensively, these are some guys that I wanted to highlight that we've noticed, throughout the offseason and, obviously from last season with their success. Once again, I'm not going to say every name. And even with all these names, there's still a lot of deserving players that, just didn't have, room on the screen to share. But I will share a couple of them that, I met at the media day. Griff Galloway, defensive lineman for Providence State, well-spoken, very talented, has multiple Division I offers. He's a big-time player that can play on the edge or on the interior. Of course, Coach Washington, the guys from Corvian, Nathaniel Kamba and Josiah Fields, and Fields really well.
He played at Mountain Island.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, great kid. And the thing about Fields, he's going to get better and better. Like I don't think people have even seen the best of him. He's a 5-star kid, man. Talented, got the size, got the IQ, knows his football. Great kid.
Absolutely. Bobby Wakefield, talented linebacker at Country Day on the inside, shutting down the run game, very physical. You mentioned Community School Davidson. Remember Brandon Albert, he played in Queen City Senior Bowl. His brother, Zach Albert, I got him listed as a linebacker, but he's going to be all over the field, kind of similar to his brother in that athlete kind of role.
Well, Pep, let me tell you something. I watched this kid grow up, as far as a player, and him and Brandon was one of the best players in our state. But that's the one right there. That kid's gonna be special, just different, man. And I mean, he was making plays very young as a freshman, sophomore. So, I mean, that kid's gonna be special. But be on the lookout for Zach. The Melbourne boys can play. They know football. Obviously, their father's a coach, but not to look that excited. Those kids are very talented.
Absolutely. While we're talking about CSD, Trayvon Gaither, our guy up there, he mentions Jackson Roberson. Absolutely. Tyler Johnson, who's a very talented quarterback, coming over from South Iredale, who's listed as an athlete on the roster. So you might see him move around. And then Sam Mack. Those are guys to look out for from CSD. So as I say every week, if you guys have more names, for these teams, please send them to me. I'll do my best to highlight them either on the show or through, Prep Reds on North Carolina, or just, on social media in general. So that's just a few names right there. There's a lot more to highlight, throughout the year. All right, so let's go to the other side of the ball on offense. Some of these names you hear a little bit more because the guys with the ball in their hands, everybody loves them. But once again, the guys I have kind of interacted with, Jamal Rule committing to Nebraska, incredibly talented running back with great production and talent. Braylon Clark for Country Day. Today, 247 Sports just named him a 5-star. Congratulations to him. We talked to him at the media day. He comes from a really good family. He's a very special talent. Troy Logan, the quarterback at Charlotte Latin, was a big reason behind the improvement that they had last year with his play on the field. Matthew Barber, we talked to at the media day, committed to play at Georgetown. He'll play on both sides of the ball for Latin. Troy Alderfer, a tight end at Ambassador Christian. You might have seen on social media. He had an incredible catch at the 7-on-7 tournament up at North Carolina, which led him to get an offer from the success that he had in 7-on-7. He's a big kid, 6'4", 6'5", very athletic, can win down the seam, and catches everything thrown to him. Of course, Cameron Gandy has been a top performer at our camps the past couple years with a New Mexico offer over at South Lake Christian. And Trey Dukes from Corvian just picked up an offer from Campbell today. I saw that on social media, so congratulations to that young man. Hunter Tedder has been picking up a lot of Division II offers, also at South Lake Christian. And then pictured is Ethan Dempsey, who left Mount Pleasant to go to Providence Day. And by all reports that I've received, he's doing well. I'm over there playing some receiver and he might end up playing some defense as well. So, anything on these guys right here, or more guys from the private and charter school ranks?
Yeah, I want to add 2 kids from Corvian. Actually, Jaden Summers and Reggie Greer, both of my athletes.
Yeah, Jaden was on our previous slide. I forgot to mention. There he is.
Yeah. But Jaden, and I'm speaking for him more as an offensive player. I know he'll be playing a little running back this year. So just be on the lookout for that kid. And the kid, Reggie Greer. Reggie's also outstanding track and field athlete. He ended up even winning state or finishing second in the high jump. He's also a hurdler. So those are 2 really good, well-deserving young men as well.
Awesome. Adam, you got anything you want to add?
Well, yeah, man. I was gonna say give a big shout out to Braylon Clark, man. Just to watch his growth since I met him pretty much as a kid. Played high school ball with his brother. Know his dad, know his mom pretty well, and it's just crazy to see how fast he took off on the football scene. I remember him playing middle school ball at Mount Holly Middle when it was kind of one of his first times playing. He pretty much took off ever since then. I know at one point I didn't know if he was going to be a basketball star or a football star, and you see football end up taking over since he's been in high school, man. So congratulations to him, and shout out to Gordon Sellers over at Providence Day, who's committed to Clemson. If you want to see some good wide receivers in that division, you got 2 right there. You got one as a senior and one pretty much a sophomore. So those 2 guys I look forward to seeing that matchup this season, just see who has the better game between those 2.
Yeah, absolutely. That's good stuff right there. Yeah, once again on Braylon, such a good young man. He really is.
And Country Day, Kingston Curry, the East Gaston transfer.
Yeah.
Kingston's at Country Day. Obviously, I know super phenomenal athlete, both sides of the ball.
Yeah, unfortunately, he got hurt, and I saw it on social media. And let's shout him out, man. And I won't send him a message, but best of luck with that recovery, and he's gonna come back strong. And he is a special talent.
I just realized Ethan was the guy at Mount Pleasant, right?
Yeah.
Shout out to Ethan, man. I think I got to meet him and his dad at one of the showcases when he came, and I hope this move works out for the best for him, man. And I'll be watching.
Yeah, he's a special talent for sure. And J-Man echoes that, says Ethan is a dog. So there you go. James Johnson sharing his son, James Cameron Johnson IV. He is an ambassador Christian, DB. And he was a player and a contributor at Northwestern Bears. So he's a good player. I can vouch for him. So that's a good call right there. And of course, Alonzo, I knew you were going to endorse him. That is accurate. That is accurate. Yes, you did. All right. I'm gonna put you guys in the background because we got our first surprise of the night coming up. Let me go solo here. All right. So why does my camera do this? Well, we're gonna roll with it. We had an opportunity to bring on some different people for the Charlotte show tonight, and we're going to bring on one of those guys now. His name is Cameron Williams, and he works for the Charlotte Post. We're going to bring him on the show right now.
What's going on, Pep?
How you doing, sir?
I'm doing great, man. It's I'm getting that itch. Football season's just a week away now. It's time to get rolling. Time to hear the pads popping.
Absolutely, man. So first of all, you're new to our audience, but you're not new to these kind of platforms. But for our group, kind of talk about who you are, what your background is, and what you're doing now.
Okay, yeah. So I've got a pretty long background in covering high school football. I've covered high school football in the Charlotte area since just right after 2020, right after COVID. I was still in college at UNC Charlotte. Graduated from there in 2022. Started freelancing a little bit for the Charlotte Observer before I got a full-time role with the Charlotte Post, and really tried to ramp up their high school coverage. And it's taken off pretty well. We covered a lot of games last year. I'm on a sideline somewhere every week, so just look for me.
All right, that's awesome, man. So you've got your now first official CFI welcome. He says that guy Yankees hat. So
No. No, I know Luke Zabo. I've covered many JM games. No.
Oh, and J-Man agrees with that. So, well, okay. Well, now you're officially part of CFI.
It's a pleasure to
All
be
right.
here.
Well, we've got something for Cam to do already. So we're going to get to that now. We're going to switch our view here. And we're going to debut Cam's Corner, the Queen City Breakdown. And what this is Cam has ranked all of the NCHSAA schools in Charlotte. So, Cam, the floor is yours. Go right ahead, sir.
All right. So this is one thing I love doing. I love ranking teams, seeing how they fared each week. And preseason rankings for me are always the toughest because I've done this for baseball, football, basketball in the past. And you're always trying to gauge, the talent that may have left, graduated, that came back, how teams fared against one another in the previous seasons. But I don't think anyone can argue too much with the fact that I put Huff at number one. They return a lot of key pieces. Quarterback Ethan Royal is going to be really key for them. I know Coach Baker thinks his team has what it takes to actually get over the hump and get it done this year. May help that they're not in Greensboro Grimsley's classification, but I'll let that go. Then West Charlotte at number two. Coach Sam Grryer, I know he gives me flack all the time saying I have them underranked and this and that, but I think two's fair for them. Going down the list kind of quick here, Mallard Creek scheduled one of the toughest non-conference schedules I've seen in quite some time. They play Grayson out of Georgia, who's number 4, I think, in the Max Preps, top 5 in the country. Independence, Charlotte Catholic. I did rank Charlotte Catholic since they are NCHSA. Palisades, Coach Simmons was very vocal at their the SWAC media day, saying that he felt very disrespected and he sees the hate, he hears it. But I mean, look, I think based on an 8-4 season last year, what they got coming back, I think 6 is pretty fair. Then Myers Park, Butler, and Chambers, both from the Mech Power 6. There's 5 of the Mech Power 6 teams in the top 10. That conference is extremely loaded. But then as you go down, rounding out the top 10s, Audrey Kell, Coach Greg Jacham said this team is very tight-knit compared to years past. He thinks that this team is going to be keyed in on making less mental mistakes. Right below them, their rival Providence, South Mech, then North Mech at 13, and then let's see, Olympic from the Greater Metro, and then you got West Mech, Rocky River. I'm glad that Kenneth is not in the chat or in the show tonight because I'm sure he would be making some comments there. But then Hopewell, Barry, East Mech, Harding, Garinger, and Ballantyne Ridge to round out the rankings.
Well, Cam, I can tell you now, I'm getting several text messages.
Well, I mean, hey, comment on Facebook, YouTube, holler at me. I'm sure that people disagree, but look, I did some thorough homework. I spent several hours breaking these down, trying to place teams in what I deemed was the right spot. It's never an easy thing to do in the preseason, but look,
absolutely,
it is what it is. Prove me wrong. That's what I always like to tell people. Prove me wrong.
All right, there it is. We got one person that I know wants to respond. That's Big Eye Shelby. We're gonna bring him back and let him speak here.
Hey, I'm not here to argue the position. I just dislike how you had something to say about everybody but us. You said our name and just skipped over it. Then Coach
McFadden knows how I feel about y'all. I think y'all have a very high ceiling, but I just think based on where y'all finished last year, how y'all ended last year, I just think 4th was appropriate. But
yeah, the ranking is cool. I was just saying everybody got like a little detailed breakdown. Then it was like, yeah, Independence. Oh, let's go on to Charlotte.
I'm really huge on y'all's quarterback. Look, Jared Street, I've known him since he was a freshman at West Cabarrus. I think he's a very, very – I mean, he's one of the athletes in the city that I think has one of the higher ceilings. Throws a really pretty ball. I just thought at West Cabarrus he lacked protection on the offensive line. But I think now that he's got some weapons around him, maybe some guys that can protect him, I think he's going to really blossom this year.
Well, Cam, we do have a message. You said you're glad Kenneth is not here, but he does not want you on the show. Yes, relay that to me.
He can text me.
All right. Well, the guys, everyone watching is pretty quiet. Well, as I say that, I'm seeing comments roll in, so maybe there's a slight little delay there. But you guys watching, give us your feedback. What do you think about Cam's, preseason ranking? Let's stress that it's preseason. And like myself and others that do ranking, you take a lot of time, consider a lot of factors that go into it. And we talked about this in our first show. The rankings are our opinion. It's everyone's opinion, and everyone has an opinion. If you disagree, please feel free to post your rankings. It doesn't have to be the whole thing. Top 5 will do. If there's a difference of opinion there, and usually it's with the top teams. So feel free to throw that out there. But in the comments, let's go through a couple. Our RG Kill fan for years, Scott Marquez, is saying RG Kill will surprise some folks this year. Scott, are you still in Tennessee and watching us, or have you moved somewhere else? Because Scott moved away and has continued to watch Football Focus Weekly every week. He is a huge RG Kill fan. And you got RG Kill there at 10, Cam. Do you think they're going to surprise?
I think they could. Look, every one of their players, when we were talking with them at Media Day, really seemed to have a succinct comment about, their team mentality this year. And it seems like every one of them's bought in. And that's what you need as a football team. You need something to rally behind. And every one of them, they seem to be very diligent in wanting to do the little things that it takes to become a winning, consistent team. And so I think they could surprise some people, but I think 10 was a good baseline for where I had them at. I just think there's room to grow, and if they slip up, there may be some room to fall. But he seems confident in them. I think that they could surprise some folks. It's all up to them now.
All right, there you go, Scott. There's your AK breakdown. Put that check in the mail. Mike Eddy, big West Charlotte fan. He says, how you rank West Charlotte number 1 in the city, but they got ranked number 1 in the state? I guess you mean number 2, Mike. So there's different people with different opinions. High School OT has them ranked number 1 in the state, but Cam Williams works for the Charlotte Post. That's why he has West Charlotte number 2.
Here's the thing, and it's one thing that I've told Sam Grryer, the coach over West Charlotte. The record against Huff doesn't indicate that they're better. It's as simple as that. Now, if they get to the playoffs, they're both in 8A, and they beat Huff, fair enough. If Huff tumbles or, takes a stumble early, West Charlotte goes out there and surprises everyone, beats Grimsley, who's 17th in the country, they may get the bump up. Like I said, I rank that solely based on prior results, and prior results say that Huff is substantially better.
All right, there you go. Thank you for that, Cam. Mike, I hope that satisfies your question there.
It probably won't, but hey, that's what I
love doing. Chris Hawk, coach at now Concord University. He says it's a good list.
That's my man, Coach Hawk.
Yeah. Another dedicated fan for years. Hope everything's going well, man. Hope everything's going well. Let's see. So the illustrious Brandon Billups says 10 through 21 is up in the air. Wow.
Ooh. I mean, look, I think there are some teams that could be ahead. Look, once you get to that part of a ranking, it does kind of get a little bit closer. But I think some of the teams further towards the bottom, 17 through 22 or whatever, are substantially lower right now.
Yeah, I forgot to change that number.
Yeah.
Valentine Ridge is 22.
17 through 22 are a bit lower than 10 through, 16. But look, again, it's preseason. I did what I could to do my homework for this list. We'll see if it's up in the air. And if it is, I'll be plugging and playing all week long trying to create next week's ranking.
There it is. Well, Antonio Broom says good job. It's a Huff parent of a talented offensive lineman up there. Let's see here. So J-Man is weighing in with a ranking for the state. Grimsley, Huff, West Charlotte, Gibbons, and Mooresville.
That's maybe a little higher than I'd have Mooresville, but look, I'm not going to throw any shade on them Blue Devils. They've proven over the last couple of seasons they are trending in the right direction, and I think they could be one of those teams that could really surprise some folks this year.
Absolutely. There you go. Keith Rhodes is also saying good list. So there you go. More support for you. Oh, Scott, you're going to start some trouble with this.
Look, he's not wrong. I'll be the first to say this. And look, Coach Baker knows how I feel about this, and he's right. He's spot on. They haven't got over the Grimsley hump, but now they don't have to play Grimsley in the playoffs. So I think this could be Huff's year. Just seeing how 8A versus 7A stacked itself. No Weddington in 8A. So, look, there's not a team that I see in 8A that Huff can't beat. Whether they'll step up to the mic, so to speak, and actually live up to the moment, we'll come to find out in late November.
All right, there it is. Braden Hunt of those Huff Huskies still says there's work to do, and you're absolutely right, young man. They're just getting started. So got the right mindset right there. All right. All right, that's enough comments. Let's bring on Coach Dub and get his thoughts here.
Yeah, I think it's a solid list. I will put West Charlotte at number one, and the reason being is because to beat a man, you got to beat the man. Right now, they're the kings right now, until proven otherwise. And championships they did, but they didn't win the championship either. So, and I love Huff, but West Charlotte, I think that was part of their process, and any coach knows. That loss probably was able to help them get through the playoffs, because that was a tough physical game. But you remember where Charlotte was losing, they'll get to a certain point in the playoffs and they'll go to Cleveland County and lose. But they was able to endure it. And, I mean, they beat a really, really stacked Dudley team.
Oh, yeah, beat them bad too.
And beat them bad. And we talked about it on the show where – everybody thought the D-boys was going to come down, and West Charlotte had something for them. And I would argue that the Huff game prepared them for that moment. So, right down the Fitness State champions is West Charlotte. So you go either way with that. Mallard Creek is solid. I think Independence is a sleeper. I think Independence is slowly building to that point where I think this year they're going to end up turning that curve because they're starting to get that experience and figure some things out. I know they had a couple tough games against Butler. I think what was it? Big Eye. Was it last year y'all played Butler in the playoffs? No.
2 years ago, we smacked them last year.
Yeah. It was the year before. But
oh boy.
But I just think it's a lot of teams on their way up. So. This list could be accurate or, it could get flipped upside down. That's just how high school football is.
All right. Well, let's go to surprise number 2 tonight. We're going to bring him in on this analysis and get his opinion here. Typically, he is behind the camera, but tonight he is coming in front of the camera. That is Zaflex.
Oh, that man, Zay.
What's going on?
How you doing, sir?
I'm doing good. How about y'all? How y'all doing?
Good. Now, for everybody watching, you see these beautiful highlights and crystal clear camera. He is the man that produces all of that stuff. So, of course, when you're doing this, Zaflex, you see a lot of these teams in action. So, first of all, what do you think about this?
I actually love the list. I think it's perfect, honestly.
Jose, you don't want to rip it up like you always do on Facebook. You always rip up my rankings on Facebook.
No, this is a good ranking right here, man. This Huff or West Charlotte 1 and 2. I'll probably put Huff at 1 just because they're proven in Charlotte. I don't think they lost to a team in Charlotte since about 3 years ago, I believe, at Creek. So they play all the teams on this list and they beat them, so they've proven to be 1 until otherwise. So 1 and 2 is good. I think the top 4 is pretty much undebatable. And I'll probably go Palisades and Myers Park over Charlotte Catholic.
Okay.
Outside of that, I think it's a good list.
Okay. Well, Zaflex, you got a shout out from Jay, man. He says if you ain't watching Zaflex, then what you watching for? So there you go. The players love you, as you already know. I don't know if you'll be here every week, but we'll welcome you whenever you want to come on. Real quick, how did you get into doing all the highlights?
Actually, his name Next Gen Connor. My boy was down in South Carolina, and I saw him doing it in South Carolina, doing highlights like similar to what I do in South Carolina. At the time, this is right before COVID happened. I was like, no one's really doing it in North Carolina besides under the radar, and like there wasn't in like North Carolina every week. Sometimes they'd be in North Carolina or go to Maryland or So I asked him what camera he had in his setup, and he told me. So I went up, saved, and just got every gear he said, and I started. And the first school I actually filmed was, Robert Washington, Mountain Island. So that was the first school I ever filmed.
Wow.
Yeah, that was the first school I ever filmed. Because I was always reach out to schools, and they wouldn't even respond. They'd be like, no, I can't come. I had to have a media pass. So with Robert Washington, they was the first one, allowed me to come on the sidelines and film. And I filmed them first, and ever since then, I'm out every Friday night. So shout out to Mount Island Charter.
There it is.
No doubt. What's up, nephew? How you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. How about you?
I'm good, man. But the thing is, you changed the game for high school football, as far as how we look at it, the exposure for kids. Most importantly, the exposure for kids. You was able to highlight a lot of kids, like by watching your videos. Because obviously, as a coach, I'm locked in on my team, who I got next, who my opponent is for that week. But just going back watching your material, I'm able to catch up. Like, oh, this kid over at North Mech. Oh, this kid over at Independence. And the one thing that I always respect about you, you always show love. And what gave you that heart to just give back the way you are? Because you've given so much, and I want to give you your flowers right now because I remember you being young and wanting to come on, and I was like, dang, this kid got something special here, and it blew up.
I appreciate that. I would say to me, filming it, like this high school in general, be on the sidelines, it is fun. Get to see different players come up. Like most of the players are seniors now. When I first started filming, they was playing youth football. So to see players seniors this year already committing to schools, it feels surreal watching the journey from day one. So just seeing the young players come up and just trying to bring exposure to them, because I always said North Carolina was an underrated state for sports, period. Whether it's football, basketball. So just trying to bring as much light as possible, to the state. That's pretty much it. Just the exposure part.
And Zay is one thing about recording, because as coaches, we know we see everyone with a camera being able to record and put together edits. I mean, it's really like they could do it on their phone, but you got a special eye, like the angles that you get, because your camera game and your editing game is both dope. You do both well.
Appreciate that.
What do you see through your lens, to get a good clip? What's your process like?
I pretty much just try to get the world or other states to see North Carolina how I see it. So they talk a lot before the game, stuff like that. But the speed of especially teams in Charlotte, the speed on defense. I don't think a lot of people understand how fast some of these defenses are down here in Charlotte, or North Carolina in general. But I just try to get people to see it from the same way if they would sit on the sideline watching the game, up close. That's pretty much it. Just try to do it that way, a on-field access type thing.
Awesome, man. You got several people shouting you out in the comments. Billups doesn't know your name, but he respects you.
His name's Zay.
Antonio Broom calling you the GOAT. I remember I was on here a few years ago, trying to tell people to check your stuff out because you hadn't blown up yet. And I knew it was a matter of time, before you did. And now you don't even come to CFI camps no more. And
I do gotta start coming back out to the CFI camps in the Queen City.
I'm just messing with you, man.
Oh, no, you're right though. You was the first one. You was the first one to help me get on the field with the media passes and all that. So yeah, I definitely got to get back out there, especially that Queen City Senior Bowl. I love that. That's my favorite time.
Yeah. And
I call it All-Star Weekend in Charlotte.
They love you too. Every year they're asking me, "Can you get Zaflex?" I'm like, "Man, he's too big for us now."
You're gonna be back out there.
But you want to hang around?
Oh yeah, I can hang around.
Okay, all right. Well, Cam, let's get your stuff back on and see if anyone else. We had a lot of comments, and the comment section is like fighting with each other over here. So I think you're off the hook. So we're gonna move forward to the next preview here, and we're gonna start breaking into conferences. So our first one is the Southwestern Conference, and once again, I put my name on this one, guys. So I've identified that I'm the one making these predictions, and I threw a little analysis in there, more so to read on social media when I post it. But in the Southwestern Conference, I got Palisades as the champ, and then RGKL, Providence, Rocky River, East Mech, and Valentine Ridge. What do you guys think about that at first glance?
I like Palisades at 1. I mean, Coach Simmons, I think the world of him, Pep. He's built it slow, like we talked about, and at that point now where he started, because when he first got there, he had to establish himself. Now he's starting to get guys in his program that's his players. You know what I'm saying? The kids that he's worked with. And he's a heck of a coach, man. And anyone know Coach Simmons, we respect his IQ, his mind, and also he's, no nonsense. He knows how to run a program. So I think that Palisades take that next step as well. They're gonna win a couple games that people are like, and I think it's gonna come during the playoffs. They're gonna end up quote unquote upsetting someone. I won't call it an upset, but I think they're gonna end up beating someone that they wasn't predicted to beat.
I agree with you. Absolutely. They've got some guys that people don't know that they got. And when it starts to come out and you start seeing them in action, they're going to see they're legit. Coach Simmons has said that they feel disrespected over there. I can tell you, Coach, it's not coming from us. I don't know where it's coming from, but it ain't coming from us.
It got to be someone that like it's whatever, but people within the coaching circle respect Coach Simmons. That's it. Yeah. I mean, you get what I'm saying? You're not gonna go around, you hear this or that. No, everyone respects Coach Simmons' mind and what he does. I'm also looking at Rocky River. Gotta show love to the engine. But at the end of the day, I don't think it's been a CMS coach that's done more with less than Kenny last year.
Interesting.
Yeah. Because guess what? He had a coach. He didn't have transfers. And I'm not knocking that. That's part of high school football. But when you talk about coaching what he has, that man has coached what he has. And not only has he coached what he has, he's making a difference. Those kids are going to school. Those kids are being marketed. They're being out there. Because I remember being at John C. Smith, going to watch Reggie, or I think it was bringing Reggie, or we was watching Reggie or something. Mm-hmm. And I see Kenny out there. And I got my players out there that came out. And very rarely do you see this. I typically have my players, but very rarely do I see other coaches that have players. Not only did he have a few players, he damn near had his whole team. So he said, trying to take the picture. I said, bro, let me take your picture. And he started rounding up kids. They started coming from everywhere. I'm like, damn, Kenny, you brought your whole team. And he brought his whole team. But that just goes to speak for his commitment to those kids, man. Not only is he going to go 1,000% for his kids are going to give that back. So you won't catch Kenny losing a game that he don't supposed to win. because those kids are going to play 100%. If you beat them, that's just because you just got way more talent. You just out athlete. But as far as scheme and all that stuff, you're not going to beat them. So shout out to Rocky River. I think this list is great.
Big Eye, what you got?
Yeah, I think based off the teams in the conference, I think Palisades is the best. They're at the top of this conference. Coach Simmons has done a lot of good things with those guys over there, and they got a lot of big matchups and non-conference schedule. But I think for the most part, when it comes to that conference, I think they're dominated.
Zay, you know anything to add on that?
Oh yeah, I like this list, man. Palisades at 1, I like that, and I think RGK can be real good this year. I wouldn't put them ahead of the Palisades right now, preseason, but I think those two teams, when they play, it'll be a good game.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, it was a good game last year. They were in the same conference, and RGK beat them low scoring. I think it was 13-10 or something like that. But then RGK just barely missed the playoffs last year. So, one of their goals, of course, this year is to get back into the playoffs and then try to do something, when they get there. In the comments, you guys are continuing to talk amongst yourselves, but J-Man wants to shout out Nick Rankin. We'll talk about Nick here in just a second when we start talking about players in this conference. And the Illustrious has said Palisades is going to win the conference. So also saying the Pumas are going to shock somebody, kind of echoing the comments that we had there, Coach Doug. So, pretty good consensus here. Hopefully we can keep that going all night. I doubt it. But let's talk about some players. There's so many players here with these conferences. I did an offensive and defensive MVP for each team. And once again, this is just my opinion. I know there's a lot of great players. But on this list, we saw Lincoln Wise score a touchdown in the Jamboree up at Huff this past weekend. Tristan Rivas, I talked about him on another podcast I did earlier today, the leading returning rusher for RGK. Lucas Salentis from Providence is a very talented offensive lineman. That's going to be a big piece of their success. Taquan Gittens at Rocky River is a really strong receiver. James Bailey, you're going to see all over the field for East Mech once again this season. And then Ace Alexander is going to be a player for Valentine Ridge. You're going to try to get the ball in his hands and do some special things. And then on the defensive side, we just mentioned Nick Rankin. He plays a lot of DB, but he can also play some offense as well in the backfield and play some Wildcat quarterback. Nathan Mbanya is an essential piece of that RGK defensive front. Corey Cunningham was named a 5-star player by 247 Sports earlier today. We know he's very talented. Terrell Bars, one of the best guys at the CFI Mega Showcase back in May. Chima Arum, big 6'4", 270-pound defensive lineman, will play some O-line as well for East Mech. And then Jaden Krause will kind of play on both sides of the ball, some tight end and linebackers. So those are some kids to watch out for in that Southwestern Conference. Is there anybody you guys want to shout out on any of those teams as well? All right, I got all the stars. That's good.
Shout out James Bailey.
All right.
Heck of a player.
Yeah, he's a heck of a player, man. And, with all this player movement and stuff going on, we've seen, teams or we've seen players leave, schools that struggle to go to, more winning programs. I commend him for staying at East Mech and going through that process and being the man there, for another year. He's got college offers. He's going to go play college football somewhere. He's a really, really good young man and a talented player, for sure. All right, let's go to the next conference. This is going well. I like this. The Greater Charlotte Athletic Conference is next on the docket. Huff, I have them winning this conference. And then Myers Park at 2nd, South Mech 3rd, West Mech 4th, Hopewell 5th, and Garinger 6th. There's the analysis right there you can read when you get a chance. But for this league, we talked a lot about Huff, West Charlotte, that matchup last year. Huff and Myers Park also played last year, and that game, really was a dominant victory for Huff. Even before, the unfortunate injury Myers Park had at the quarterback spot. So I think Myers Park is a lot better this year, and I think the gap has closed there. Not only from the fact that, Huff lost some talent in graduation, but Myers Park has, got some players into their program. We'll talk about a couple of those guys here in a minute, but I think it's going to be a 4-quarter game this year. But I still like Huff, ultimately to win the football game, and I think that's going to be the main thing that determines the winner of this conference. But I think what's interesting is who's going to finish third. I think legitimately all the teams at 3 through 6 feel like they have a shot at third place if things go right, if they stay healthy, all those different kind of things. So what do you guys think about this league right here?
Yeah, I think Huff and Myers Park are at the top of the list. I think Huff's the favorite in their conference for sure. I think, like you said, I think Myers Park will be a little better this year. Obviously, they had their quarterback go down last year, so they really, on paper, wasn't a 4-6 ball club, but they had unfortunate injuries at the quarterback spot. But they was able to get a quarterback in this year, and they still have a lot of skilled players. So I think Myers Park will still be a sleeper team. I think they will be able to give Huff a game. Now, I don't know for how long it may last, but I still think Coach James had those guys ready to go. I think those kids will be up to the challenge to face Huff. But I think, those two pretty much are 1 and 2 in that conference.
All right, good deal. Zay, you got anything to add here on this league?
Oh, yeah, I agree with Huff and Myers Park at the top of that list. And I think when they play, I think that'll be a very underrated game because by the time those two teams meet, they both have strong records, and I think the game was at Myers Park. That's a tough place to play when it comes to home fields. But I think they'll be able to give them a game, a little bit. I still think Huff will pull away. I like Huff to win this conference too.
Okay, Coach Dub, you want to add anything there?
Yeah, this league is pretty straightforward. This was actually one of the leagues when a realignment. Someone just mentioned it in the comments. When I saw it, I was like, wow. I mean. You got Huff, Myers Park. We can't sleep on anyone. Like at the end of the day, you still got to play on Friday night, and you got to pray for good health and things got to work in your favor. But it's Huff and Myers Park, but Huff is head above everyone. It's tears in here, so I think 4 through 6 is 4 through 6. I think Beatty will do enough to stay up there in that mid tier. Because you talk about South Bank and West Bank, you talk about 2 good coaches, 2 knowledgeable coaches, 2 coaches that's been around the game for a long time and know what they're doing. So you can't really sleep on that. But, Hopewell, I don't know enough about Hopewell, and I should because they're close to us, but I don't know a ton about them. I know they got a new coach, and, again, it goes back to what we talked about earlier. They just haven't been able to put together a consistent back-to-back winning season. I think the new coach is adding a lot of life to the program from what I saw. And then obviously Juper's at Geringer, so they're a wild card. So I think with Jupe being there alone, he's going to win a couple games that traditionally they wouldn't win.
All right, well said. All right, the illustrious in the comments says Huff, Myers Park, South, and then Hopewell at 4, West Bank at 5, Geringer at 6. Okay. Little push there for Hopewell.
You see that? You picked up on that? Homer.
For those that don't know, Mr. Billups did coach at Hopewell in his past. So,
and I graduated from Hopewell, class of 17.
Oh, really?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Did you play?
I played my sophomore and junior year. I didn't play senior year, though.
Okay. You any good?
I was all right. I was all right. Basketball is more my sport.
Oh, okay. I never knew that. Ronnie Price says Myers Park looked good. Yeah, they beat in quotes. Crest in the Cleveland County Jamboree, 21-14 last week. Adam, did you hear anything about what Myers Park did down there?
They said they had a strong showing. I think that last touchdown, they said Crest starters in the back end went in.
Okay.
But I mean, I think it's a scrimmage. I mean, I think they look good from what I've seen, from what I've heard. So I'm still confused why they came down the road wearing green. I don't know what made.
I did see that. That was interesting.
Both teams had how either way team, you just gonna come down here and put on green. I guess Chris James felt like he was at home because he was at the well.
Well, another I wanted to bring up something about this conference because I was alluding to it earlier. But when the state passed the rule that conference champions don't get automatic bids anymore.
Right.
So with putting Huff in this particular conference, how does that impact their power rankings? And because let's be honest, Huff could easily be undefeated, and you could have another team that's undefeated that might have been in a tougher conference. Mm-hmm. How do you swing that?
Yeah, well, they really tried hard to make their non-conference tough for that reason. I distinctly remember, they were looking for a week 5 game forever, and then they finally, got New Bern to come all the way to Huff, which that's a long ride. That's how much they were trying to find an opponent worthy, to play that would help, or at least not hurt their RPI because of the conference that they play in. But you're absolutely right. Even if you win a conference, it's not guaranteed that you go to the playoffs. As crazy as it sounds. Now, 99% of the time you win the conference, you're going to go to the playoffs because you're a pretty good team. But that is accurate. So it could hurt them. We get deeper into the playoffs and have to go on the road. And we've talked about this, in playoff shows in the past. Why are they always going to Grimsley? Why is they were going to the East Forsyth and the places like that. And it's crazy because you think about the football in Charlotte compared to those other areas, and it's no shade, but the best football's in Charlotte. So how in the world are the rankings skewed to let them host playoff games? I don't know. Supposedly they changed the playoff formula around to kind of balance that out, but that's something we'll talk about down the line. But that's a very good point, for sure. Joe Hughes is worried about your voice, Will.
Hey, my voice fine, man. I just be coaching.
There's other comments about it, but I'll leave those alone. Let's see. And to that point, Jonathan Mitchell's talking about Huff right here. Doesn't like what they can do for them as far as the RPI. So that's echoing the same points that you mentioned there, Coach Dub. Let's see here. Joe's also saying Myers Park has some speed. Crest was up 14-7 and took their starters out, but promising overall for Myers Park. So that's some good insight right there. And that's another point. We can't put too much into these scrimmages. And I see fans, all on social media and message boards, saying this team won this scrimmage and this and that. And Coach Dub, you can attest to this because of what you guys did in your scrimmage last week by playing a lot of your backups.
Yep.
So,
but see, I blame it on the coaches, man. Like and I get it. Like anytime you step on the field, you want to win, but you're a veteran coach and you've been around the game for a long time. You've had enough seasons under you. You realize like what you're going into a scrimmage to do. You're going into scrimmages to see what you got. Like if I got a kid that started for me since he was in 9th grade, right? I don't need to play him in the scrimmage. He knows what he's doing. I need to figure out what that backup, especially being at a smaller school, a 2A program, our depth is what it is, right? And most of our kids, if they get hurt, so if I lose a receiver, that might be my starting corner or safety. So I got to be smart about those things. And, I want to see what their backups can do, the ones that got to come in and give them a breather because they're going both ways. So, it just depends on what you want. My biggest thing going to scrimmages is just building my depth and see who wants to compete.
Absolutely. And everyone looks at these things, differently. So, it's different strokes for different folks, man. All right, let's take a look at some players in this conference. Of course, Ethan Royal at quarterback. Everyone knows him. Several offers. He's ready for the challenge. Brody Keefe, very talented receiver at Myers Park, committed to Duke. Quinn Rucker will play some tight end, and he'll help out on the defensive side of the ball as well. Sean Blackshear I saw last week at the Gaston County Jamboree, looked good running the football. Malachi Goodlock is a dual threat quarterback for Hopewell who can do some things, with his feet and with his arm. And Angel Vasquez, a really big, strong offensive lineman, and he'll play some defensive line for the Wildcats. On the other side, of course, Amari Matthews committed to Texas. We all know him on this show. Hank Thrasher, middle linebacker for Myers Park, really essential to their, success on that side of the ball. They have some bigger names, but I really think that middle linebacker for them is going to be really important to tie, the front end and the back end together. Callaway Williams at South Mech is a good safety, and he'll play some receiver. Lavaris Hines coming off the edge at West Mech, a good size kid at 6'4", 215 pounds. Randres Lyons, I met at media day. He's going to help on the interior for that Hopewell defensive line. And then Coach Wilson talked about Robert Shealy being the leader, for their team. So good talented kids here. Any other kids you guys want to shout out for these teams?
I'm going to give a shout out to my guy at Huff, Ryan Peterson, sophomore linebacker down there at Huff.
Yeah, he's a heck of a talent. And we had a funny moment at media day. I asked at the Huff media day, I asked, all the kids what their rating would be in college football 26. And, he said an 88, but his tackling would be a 97. So I said, that means you never miss a tackle. And he said, you ever seen me miss a tackle? And I looked at his Jamboree highlights, and he's probably accurate with that. So that was a pretty cool moment right there. I looked at Malachi's film, and even though it was from JV, he looked confident in what he was doing. I think he's gonna surprise some people because obviously that's a name that people don't know, but I think he's gonna do some good things this year. And Jay, man, down here in Charlotte, man, it's a little different. It's a little different. Even when I played, we weren't that big. Like kids now are just huge and just huge for no reason. I had a big offensive line, a couple years when I coached at Harding, and we got on the front page of the Observer because we were so big. But now, I go to these schools and it's like the average size. It used to be a big deal when you had a bunch of big offensive linemen, but it's interesting. It's interesting. All right. Well, Zay, do you want to shout out anybody?
No. It's a pretty good list. If I had to shout out anybody, probably Malachi Hopewell, underrated player. Hopefully get a lot of eyes this year. And also Hank Myers Park, good linebacker as well. Fly to the football pretty fast. And I'm interested to see Ethan Royal at Huff, take over the reins of Huff at quarterback. I think he's ready for the challenge. That's something also I can't wait to see. So, yeah, I like this list.
Okay. All right, good deal. All right, well, now things are going to get real. And we're going to move to our next conference here in Charlotte. Oh, James Law wants to shout out the whole Huff offensive line. Well, that's a lot of talent. That's a lot of talent. Now, why y'all coming with the shout outs late now? I'm getting ready to move on, man. Bills wants to shout out the Porter's boys at Myers Park. The corner, Cam is committed to Miami, and then Chaz is committed to Delaware State on the offensive side of the ball at receiver. So, talented kids right there from a talented family, of course. All right, so the Mech Power 6 conference, the conference that everyone loves in Charlotte because of the special programs with so much history in it. This was a very tough conference to rank, but I've got it with West Charlotte, Independence, Mallard Creek, Butler, Chambers, and North Mech in that order. But I think the top four are definitely going to the playoffs. And if things break right from Chambers, I think they can go to the playoffs as well. So, first glance, what do you guys think about this?
I like it. West Charlotte beat the man. You got to beat the man. Independence is right where they need to be at Mallard Creek. This is a dog fight right here. This is the premier conference in this area, in the best area in the state. So I would argue this is probably one of the better conferences in the entire state. West Charlotte's returning a lot. I mean, I was hearing stories about, their cuts. Their cuts make more publicity than anything. But
I saw that, yes.
Yeah, I was like, wow. But I don't know what people expect. I mean, their defending champs is the Dub, right? The Dub is back. And then you got Independence. It's just really good, and it's surreal to see West Charlotte and Independence back at the top. You know what I'm saying? It just feels something right about football, right? In Charlotte. This is my youth anyway. And Pep, we're a little older than most, but this is our youth. This is our youth right here, Pep. West Charlotte Independence, this is it. And then you got Mallard Creek. Mallard Creek was a part of that process too. And, Butler obviously in there. Chambers. I mean, this is a dog fight right here. So I think what came out of the realignment process or the new playoff seedings, I think it does well for conferences like this because you're not punished for going up against powerhouses. Like, can you really blame North Mech for losing to West Charlotte, Independence, Mallard Creek? Think about that. Just say North Mech losing to West Charlotte, Independence, Mallard Creek, Butler, Chambers. That's 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 5 losses. That don't mean they're a bad team. That just mean they went against they're in a very strong conference. So one thing I do like about that, because you're gonna have your pros and cons, this is definitely a pro of what the state did, is not being able to punish someone like North Mech for playing a tough schedule within conference. Because the one thing about conference, you can't pick your conference. Conference like family. You can't pick your family. So I think you nailed this one though.
Okay. The comments say different. But I appreciate that. Zay, what you think here?
I like this list right here. But I'll probably go Mallard Creek over Indy. I mean, that just meet up. I still think if Indy and Mallard Creek played in the game, or when they play in the game, I think that's a toss-up. But I'll probably go Creek over Indy at preseason. But other than that, I mean, this list, I like this list. I think, Butler and Chambers will make some noise. It's going to be kind of hard, with those 3 teams ahead of them. But I still think they'll have a good season and possibly make a playoff bid, get a playoff bid. But this is a loaded conference. I don't think, like when West Charlotte play Independence at West Charlotte, that's going to be a crazy game. I think when Mallard Creek play Butler, then that's an underrated game when they play. I just think it's so many different, good matchups when these teams play. But yeah, this conference, this would be a fun conference, most definitely.
All right, big guy. You don't have to comment, but if you got anything to say?
I mean, I think it is what it is. I think no matter what conference West Charlotte was going to be in, based off the season they had last year, they was going to come in as preseason number 1 pretty much on everybody's board. They're the only state champion in the area. I mean, a lot of it's going to get settled on the field, so, we don't really get into rankings a lot. We just have to be in the number, and whenever the games come, we'll make sure we show up every week.
Man, I'm going to cut that out.
Cuz is maturing. I am proud of you, Cuz. Back in the day, you would have went in. But
I mean, hey, man. I mean, it is what it is, man. We got to kick the ball off and play. So
that boy getting older. He getting older. But the thing is, all jokes aside, that if you look at that,
but I would think like whoever win the state championship would come back preseason #1. I would think, especially West Charlotte's going to be a tough team to beat. Much respect to Coach Grryer and them guys over there, Coach Williams, DC. I mean, you got a team who's returning like 17, 18 starters. I think anybody who's returned that on any level should be the favorite to repeat or be at the top of their conference either way it goes. So,
Webb wouldn't have said that about 2 years ago. So, but if you look at it too, y'all, like your top three, because you're talking about West Charlotte, Independence, and Mallard Creek. Now Butler, Coach Hales came back, so I feel like they're going to take a step up, definitely. But I'm talking about as of what we've seen last year. Right now, looking at this list, any three of these teams can win. It might take a bad call. It might be a bad possession. It might be a turnover. Can be in the. I mean, literally, West Charlotte Independence, when they last played, it came down to, the wire. So, I mean, Creek could end up winning this conference. Independence could win this conference. You get what I'm saying? So it's going to be interesting to watch. I feel like on this show, we're going to highlight this conference every single show, and we're going to go in depth talking about it. It's a lot of what we talk about. The talent is in one conference, man. I can't wait. I'm excited as a fan. I
definitely think it's the best conference in the state. I think each week is going to be like a playoff like atmosphere. Each team has different things they bring to the game. They can beat you if you don't come in there with your head on right. So I think, like I said, as far as conference go, I believe it's the best, easily the best in the state, top to bottom. Any one of these teams can beat you any given day, no matter where they go to. So I mean, it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be exciting. So yeah, man, I'm ready to get it started.
Absolutely. So the comments really went off for this conference. So I guess this was the one everybody was waiting on. Thanks a lot. I'm trying to sort through these. Kendall Rudolph says West Charlotte versus Indy will be epic. All right. Well, I agree. I think there's going to be a lot of epic matchups in this league. I mean, like you said, week in and week out, man, it's playoff level games. Jonathan Mitchell believes there should be Indy, Mallard Creek, and then West Charlotte. Interesting. Why do you say that, Jonathan? If you're still watching, I know I got to that a little late, but let us know your thoughts on that. Let's see. So Ronnie Price says, "Good luck on the season, Coach Weber and the rest of the staff. I've been a fan since I graduated there."
I appreciate you, Ronnie, man. Come out and support us this year if you can.
Yeah, there you go. Kim Watts says the addition of Jay Sean Shaw is a good look for West Charlotte. They got a dog in him. I agree. He's a heck of a player, for sure, on the defensive side of the ball, for those that don't know. Billups thinks it's between West Charlotte, Independence, and Mallard Creek. Okay. Well, way to go on a limb there. Appreciate it. Still going through some comments here. J-Man thinks Butler might be getting back to the mix. I'll tell you, I thought they played well, especially on defense in the Jamboree against Palisades. They had a couple guys really stand out with their performances. So already, I think Coach Hales is having an impact on those guys. We saw what they did defensively last year, so that's night and day already. And then some people are commenting about your face during the announcement of the rankings there, Webb.
No, I didn't make that face, man.
Well, you didn't see your face, so when you go back and watch, you had some looks on your face.
Definitely had some looks.
What it is, man.
Oh man! Once again, Kim Cotton sharing that rankings don't matter. It's who shows up game time on any given Friday, and we continue to say this throughout our preseason rankings. But I will tell you that I get many comments and messages based on the rankings. So they don't matter, but they are a talking point. So, you know, it is what it is. We talked about West Charlotte cuts. David Moore said Dubsy had over 170 kids, and you definitely cannot keep 170 kids. You don't have enough equipment. So, you know, that's why that had to happen over there. All right, Coach Dub, you got something else you want to share here?
Yeah, I do. It's an interesting thing, and I'm just coming from running a program mentality. West Charlotte always played well as underdogs. That got those kids up, right? And it's interesting to see how they shape. They got great leadership with Coach Grryer, Coach Littlejohn over there, and the other coaches. But the thing that is going to be intriguing, I'm not going to say they're going to fall out because they're not. They're going to be absolutely just as dominant and should be the favorites to win it this year. But they've been playing with a chip. They played with a chip on their shoulder all last year. Like, I mean, they was motivated. You remember we talked about the D boys. We had a couple of their fans come up here and because they have that type of mentality, but up there in Greensboro in that area, right? And I'm like, it's a different beast at Betty Ford Road when you're motivated and you're pissed off. You feel like you're being held back, and somebody got something that you want. Those kids play with a different motivation. I'll be intrigued to see how they, because it's one thing you hungry, right? You know it's gonna get back to food, Pep. You know this, but you're hungry, right? What happens when you get fed? You still got that same hunger. So, and I know they got a lot of new additions over there. So, how well does those new additions mush with your culture, your chemistry? Just because they're great players don't mean that they're gonna do well there. You get what I'm saying? How does that dynamic? How does those parents match up with other parents? It's just like a whole culture. So it's a lot more than just having talent on a football team. That's why you see a lot of teams that on paper they look great, but it might be some different dynamics that don't mush and don't work well together. I think if it's any team in the city that can figure it out as a Coach Grryer team. Like I say, he got great leadership across the board on that coaching staff. So I think they'll figure it out. But it'll be intriguing to see. I would say I would go out on this limb. They may lose a game that we're surprised they lose. Just maybe trying to get that chemistry together. Because again, talent is not just, I mean, we're dealing with human beings here, right? We're not playing a video game where you can trade for somebody and put them on your team, and that's what it is. They got a lot of new talent in there. How does that mush with that hunger culture?
Well, here we go with Mike Eddy saying that Lions are always hungry. And he's been very aggressive in the comments with West Charlotte. So,
well, Mike, I know Mike's speaking as a fan. I'm speaking as an athletic director. I'm speaking as a head coach. Like, you get what I'm saying? So, I'm not questioning it. I'm just bringing that up for conversation so you guys can comment on it. I'm never going to – West Charlotte's my favorite to win the state championship this year. Let me put that out there. Coach Grryer is one of our better coaches in the history of this area. So I would never second guess them. And Coach Littlejohn, I think the world of. But what I'm saying is, for dialogue, we talk about it's a lot of times we talk about kids' movement, and it's been at its highest. I mean, it's been going on for years, but I think this is the most that we've had going around. And sometimes when you get a player, you might be inheriting something else. You get what I'm saying? So I just want to see, and they very well might have it figured out game one. I expect nothing less, but again, it's good table talk. It's good conversation to talk about how's that's going to gel after they ate already. They fed, and I get Lions are already always hungry, but we're dealing with a different generation of kids too. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
yeah. Right here, I had a comment when. Let's see here. Hold on. Trez Walker, who is the parent of a West Charlotte player, very talented young man. He says the chip on the shoulder for West Charlotte is still there because many people still don't believe West Charlotte is for real.
Who is those people?
Well, there's a lot because
There's a lot of people.
at the
Who?
media day, Coach Grryer talked about the fact that they won the championship last year, but people are not giving them credit because it was a 3A championship.
What? That don't
Yes.
make sense. So this is the thing. This is where you got to kind of like stop listening to people. If you're putting criteria on stuff, was this a 3A? They played who was on their schedule. They played. They wasn't saying that when they lost in 3A the year before. That's ridiculous, man. Give that coaching staff, give those players, give those parents, give that community the credit they deserve. They brought a championship to Charlotte, and we all was proud of it. So anyone hating, they just mad it wasn't them. They would love to have a 3A championship. So any team on this list would love to have a 3A championship.
So Zay, what were you gonna say there?
Oh no, I would disagree. A lot of people still don't believe in West Charlotte. And I can understand why. If you just go off last year with the conference they was in, the AMEC with Huff and Creek and those teams. When you watch them play against Huff and you watch them play against Creek, you can almost tell a difference between the two teams. But this year it's a totally different year. When you bring back that many players, they can only get better. One, be bigger, a little stronger, faster. More experience. So I guess we'll really, all find out, next Friday.
Okay. James Law is definitely saying West Charlotte is not winning 8A. It's no ambiguity on how he feels.
But that's the same thing.
I think from like experience, right, with that conference they was in last year, like you really can't go off regular season, right? Pep, like every championship Chambers won, they lost to Huff in the regular season.
Yeah, very good point.
You know what I'm saying? And it's one of those where they look at it. Yeah, they went 14-2. They lost to Huff. They lost to Creek, right? Regular season. When you play a team every year, it's different when those teams play in the regular season because everybody's so familiar with each other. Like that's different. Like now you get them in the playoff atmosphere, it's a little bit different. Which what Chambers always showed you when, okay, we got to play you twice. It's hard to beat a good team twice. Yeah, you beat them in the regular season. Cool. Okay, let's run it back whenever we're able to make adjustments and do what we need to do. So, I get it like what Zay said based on what they went off last year, but you only played them once. Like I think that was a good thing about the Huff Chambers matchups and where Chambers was always able to get their get back. They always got them back in the playoffs. Like with West Charlotte, they only got to play them in the regular season, and then they didn't get to see each other in the playoffs. So it's kind of unfair to say, okay, they lost to them in regular season, and then they went to go win 3A. But the teams that beat them, they didn't go on to win 4A. So it's not like you can just say, okay, they're better automatically. But I think that people get caught up in like these divisions where if it's 3A, 4A, Charlotte football is Charlotte football.
Yep.
Like
100%.
no matter like if they was a 3A team last year or a 4A team last year, Charlotte football is Charlotte football. It's hard to beat any team in Charlotte that's at the top twice.
Exactly.
Like it's hard to beat them twice. Like you can switch them and put Huff in 3A, whatever the case may be, and whatever the case it may be. But like, okay, you saying that the same West Charlotte team who returned 17 to 18 starters and the same Huff team who's replacing key players is just going to automatically be better than what West Charlotte are this year. But I think the good thing about it, they're going to have to see each other. Like you got to see, like all these teams they talking about that they consider better than West Charlotte lost a significant amount of great players, and West Charlotte returned a significant amount of great players and added on
21 of 22 starters.
So you know what I'm saying? So it's like one of those where it's like they're gonna have to play each other. Like I think, like you said, like you're gonna have to see them. Like I mean, you got to see them in the regular season than playoffs. Because playoffs they done been there. So West Charlotte has got over the hump. They've been to the big game. They're more experienced than a lot of the guys.
So James Law said 40-14 is no get back.
Pep, I'm still back. I apologize. I haven't moved on from this. Like, what in the world? Like, who's ordering rings, though? You get what I'm saying?
They say it's not different. It's different. Like I'm saying, that you have the example of Huff and Chambers. Every year Chambers won the championship. They always lost to Huff in the playoff. I mean, the regular season. They lost to him, right, Pep? Every time. No matter if it was
And
a
I will
close
say those games with Huff and Chambers a little bit closer though. I think when they say 40-14.
But that's cool though. The same way you get to play somebody twice. Like when we played Butler the first time that year I was there, they pretty much whooped us. We played them the second time, it was 10-7. So you
I agree what you're saying.
The first score don't matter though. I mean, cool, you whooped them in the regular season. So you think that coaching staff is going to go back over there with the same plan and do everything the same? You think both teams are going to do everything the same?
Not playoffs are different beasts, man. We know palms get sweaty. You know what I'm saying? Like it's a different beast, even how you approach it as a coach. And you know all the things that you did wrong the first time against them. And it's not like you could look at, okay, West Charlotte Huff. That scoreboard, it's not that Huff had that much more talent than West Charlotte. Talent-wise, West Charlotte could go toe-to-toe with anybody in the city. So if you got that talent going against each other, it's gonna get figured out eventually, because it's probably a bunch of key mistakes the kids made in that game that they're not going to make during the playoff time. I mean, I continue to go back, and I know Dudley and Huff is two different monsters, but go back to that West Charlotte and Dudley game. Like, you got to think, Dudley is one of the fastest teams in the state. One of the fastest teams, at least top 3 fastest team in the state regardless of classification. West Charlotte was able to contain that talent. So what I'm saying is playoffs is a different monster. And at the end of the day, and I'm a fan of the game, not only do I coach it, but to respect the game and really be a student of the game, you have to respect the ones that wear the crown. You have to. Because any of those teams that we name, you can ask them, would they trade places with West Charlotte? And I guarantee you, if you're worth anything as a coach, you'll change in a minute. I don't give a damn if it's a 1A championship. You're going to take it.
Too with it, Pep. Right? Everybody was talking about, oh, they don't know if West Charlotte would have won 4A. Well, I tell you what, they opened it up with the 4A champ. So a lot of us going to get settled week 1.
That's right.
Everybody's talking about if they would have won it last year, or if they was going to do this, if they was going to do that. It's going to get a lot of us going to get settled week 1. And what's going to happen if West Charlotte whoop them? First thing they're going to say is it's a different team than what Grimsley had last year. That's the why I be trying to tell fans, y'all arguments are never the same. The goalposts always move. And that's a good thing about Coach Grryer. Coach Grryer, everybody kept saying, oh, they wanted to beat Grimsley. Well, guess what? He said, well, let's open up with them and let's just figure it out from the jump.
All right.
And I think that is what it is. You know what I'm saying? And it's just what I think. I don't know why people would sleep on them. I mean, in Charlotte football, I think outsiders always look in and say, people keep looking at divisions where, like, there was only 3A based off what their school looked like 4 years prior, not what they looked like talent-wise last year. Like, the division is not talent-based, it's school population-based. So they're not grouping guys based off talent. It's about how many kids you got, So, like I said, a lot of these games, a lot of these matchups people want to see, majority of them are all on the schedule this year for everybody. So you'll be able to see some great high school football this year. So
there are a ton of comments. Not every time I think I can go to one,
let's get them up.
5 more come in.
Let's talk about it. Let's
We've got over 1,000 watching just on Twitter. Where did Adam go? He wanted to talk about it, but then I guess he's got a phone issue. So we'll see if we can get him back here shortly. But I got to scroll way up because there were several that I wanted to get on the screen here. Let's see here. So Jonathan Mitchell with a good point. We were talking about playoffs. So Huff did beat Mallard Creek twice, regular season and playoffs last year. And it was a similar score, in those situations. So sometimes a rematch, is the same result. So that's a good point. There's Adam. We got him back there. Okay. Let's see here. Joe Hughes says the best thing about preseason Jaja is there's a season for all this to get settled. For sure. Billups, I don't know what you're talking about. Harding is not in this conference, so I'm not putting that on the screen. James Law saying the same way Huff beat Indy 47-3, so Indy could beat Huff next year.
Yes. Also going into that game, we don't talk about what happened or what didn't happen. I mean, we didn't have our two best guys when we played them. So, it's a different year, different teams, bro. The teams are different. That's what I'm saying. Like, Huff is not the same team they were last year. We're not the same team we were last year. But guess what the good thing about it? We play week 2. So things will get settled, however you feel about it. You know what I'm saying? Like every year, everything looks different, bro. Like, that's why I tell fans when they start talking about games, we can't talk about from when you played or what happened last year. It's a whole new year, whole new team. Everybody's 0-0. You just line it back up. That's the whole point about football. Anything can happen on any given Friday. You say you're the best, cool. We're gonna roll out there, and you gotta get settled. Everything gets settled.
I think people don't understand, like, when it comes to Charlotte football, like, especially like Charlotte high school football, like, so much change within one season. Like, rosters, teams, nothing is the same from last year for the most part. And I think a lot of people underestimate the power of returning players.
It's only one team.
When a good team,
they got everybody back. When I mean everybody, they got everybody back.
Who?
Well, Charlotte's probably the only one that literally can say they got everybody back.
And added some.
And added. Just think about it. I know every school in Charlotte graduated a lot of seniors, but that team, if you had to do starters week 1 this year versus starters week 1 last year or the state championship game, it's going to be 18 guys or 19 guys out there that's coming back that played.
Yeah, I mean, those are facts.
And I think that's what people forget about, where those guys who got whooped last year, they're back. And they went to the mountaintop, so they got the chip on their shoulder to say, everybody think it's sweet, so we're going to find out.
It's funny, man. I think that's a very good point. And a lot of people are just kind of skating over that. But that is very rare in high school football, especially from a state championship team, to get all those guys back. And they're still motivated with a big chip on their shoulder because no one gives them respect for a championship. There's a comment from Mike that I wanted to put on the screen. That's gotten buried now. But his point was West Charlotte, now granted, to Coach Doug's point, they didn't make the bracket, but they went on the road and they beat the crap out of all those teams on the road to get to the state championship. And, they went to places where you knew they weren't getting any help. I mean, let's just be honest about it. So that's how dominant, those guys were on the way to winning that championship. So I think there does have to be a little bit more respect paid to a champion, no matter how they got it done or what bracket they went through or whatever.
And I think that's what people always try to go through with, like, people always try to do it, though. You know what I mean? Because, like it's people in the comments talking, and if you start critiquing the teams they play for, people start saying y'all don't play nobody, you're going to get upset. You know what I'm saying? So my thing is, like, with the West Charlotte team, right, somebody made a good point. Them kids was on the road, majority of them as sophomores, Pep. Throughout the whole season, they played a lot of – think about that. They played a lot of sophomores.
And freshmen.
Think about it.
Yeah.
You get a whole year in the weight room again, playing, and we've won. And now it's like you come into the year and it's like nobody's like, okay, they don't play nobody. They 1-1. I mean, like you said, you have to just from the opening jump of their season, they're coming. They pretty much feel like they're coming for everybody. So I beat a lot of these guys that's out here talking and doing the case may be. If you play West Charlotte and you just think y'all so much better than West Charlotte, you make sure you settle the score with your. I hope the team you love can back up everything you say.
But the thing is, the West Charlotte community can't take those people serious. Those are the same people. If you always got that friend. If you get something, well, you only got it because of this or that. Stop with the what ifs and all the woulda, coulda, shouldas, man. Like, if you're a real football fan and you know the game, you play the game, you coach the game, or whatever the case may be, the respect of the game. I hate to quote Herm Edwards. You play to win the game. And West Charlotte last seen was playing to win a championship, and they won it. You have to respect it. So
I can take it this far too, Pep, to get a little started. As I recall, both teams was looking for games. Why they ain't make the game happen this year?
We're talking about who now?
West Charlotte and Huff. All these fans talking about it's going to be the same thing when they see each other. Both teams were looking for games after the season, right?
Perfect timing.
Hey, I
wondered when he was going to show up.
Hey, listen, Pep, look, Pep. Am I lying? What? Both teams looking for games.
Well, Sam, if you want to comment on that,
I'm not saying Coach Sam reached out.
I know some stuff behind
I'm saying this. I'm not saying Coach Baker reached out to Coach Sam or Coach Sam reached out to Baker. I'm not saying that. All I know is both teams needed a game, and somehow or another it didn't happen. Now they probably can say, let's save it for the playoffs, which probably couldn't happen. But I'm just saying, both teams needed games.
It's no need for West Charlotte. If I'm a West Charlotte coach, it's no need to play Huff at this point. They got enough in their own conference. You get what I'm saying? To get them where they need to be at. They'll see them when it matters. And again, Huff.
I definitely think it'll be the game to go to the state championship.
Yeah. Well, it is the thing.
In 8A, right? Yeah, it'll probably be the game to go to the state championship on our side. Probably.
I absolutely love the coaching staff at Huff. One of my favorite group of coaches. But at this point,
put up what Coach Sam said. Put up what Ron said.
I got you. So we got to break in on this.
Sam said you gonna talk to him nice.
He said we decided to play the champions that beat them 3 years in a row, and we'll see them in the playoffs. Woo!
But that's getting to my.
So basically, Grryer is saying, if we go out there and whoop them week 1, you already know what's gonna happen when we see you. That's pretty much what he's saying. You know.
No, I want to add to it. I'm trying to get this point off, y'all. Is Huff has not won a meaningful playoff game ever. Now they got the coaching staff to do it now.
They said a Huff coach said West Charlotte didn't want to play. We tried.
Yeah, I saw that.
Man, Huff could very well win.
They're gonna have to see each other.
You know, I was talking about this on another podcast earlier today. You know, it's funny with Charlotte football; these things have a way of working out. And I really feel like that matchup's going to happen. And it needs to be played at Memorial when it does happen. And it needs to be 10, 15,000 down there. And we know Zay going to be there with the highlight. And
I want to do Memorial.
40,000 views.
It got to be in West Charlotte. It got to be on the floor.
No, you got to move that. You got to move that, man.
Hey, Dub, J-Man said you're a West Charlotte fan. He don't know where you graduated from, man. He don't know where you went.
Listen. The thing is, I'm a fan of football, and when you win a state championship, you get my respect. That's just respect of the game. It ain't that I'm a fan of West Charlotte. I respect what Coach Grryer and staff does. Why? Because they're champions, and I love Huff. Like I'm probably closer to the Huff staff than I am West Charlotte staff. You get what I'm saying? So I'm not being biased. I'm just saying, as a fan of the game, last time I saw Charlotte football, West Charlotte was champions.
James Law says, Big Eye, will Indy make it to states? Why is he coming after you?
I mean, that's our goal, dog. You think we wake up and say, yeah, we just going to play 10 games, put up Come on, man. That's our goal, man. Our goal is to compete for state championships and be in state championships.
Oh, man. You guys in the comments, I can't keep up. I cannot keep up, man.
We haven't even got to the players, have we?
No, we hadn't got to the players. We still got another conference to do.
Okay, we're gonna be talking about our conference, man. They come here doing all this extra stuff. Let's get to the players, man.
All right. Y'all keep going over there. We'll get to it at the end of the show. Good gracious. All right, so the players are watching this conference. Of course, Jamari Nichols, picture to the right there. Quarterback for West Charlotte. We got him ranked as the best in his class on Prep Red Zone, North Carolina. Of course, your guy, Big Eye Jaden Jones, I think is, obviously one of the best in the state at the running back spot.
The best.
Okay. Hey, go. Perry Justice, the quarterback at Mallard Creek, expected to have a good year. Donovan Pollard, for wide receiver for Butler, can be dynamic in space. Coach, oh my gosh, why am I going blank? Anyway, Zion Haley at Chambers. He's going to be a leader and a really, really good dual threat quarterback for them. And then Michael Bellamy, big offensive lineman at North Mex, going to be important for them to control the run and pass game. Then flipping on defensive side, West Charlotte, we know we got a ton of defensive guys. KD Cotton, of course, committed to Duke, one of the best in the state. Your guy, Dallas Brandon, at linebacker and Independence, big guy. Really important to control the run game and then, cover the middle field and pass game. Askia Mustafa and Mallard Creek is a really, really good player, really good tackler in space, brings the wood. Tyler Dent, athlete at Butler, really good corner. He's going to do some things on the offense side of the ball as well. Marley Vincent, defensive back at Chambers. I've liked him for the last couple years, really good corner. And then Zaire Brown, athlete at North Mac, has got picked up an Elon offer recently, was one of the top 5 performers at that spot, at the DB spot in our spring showcase. We've got several more shout outs in the comments. I've been waiting on that tonight. Elijah Littlejohn, of course, dynamic outside linebacker, edge guy over at West Charlotte. Mikey McGill, like him a lot. Thumper at middle linebacker for North Mech. I'm not sleep on him. I know him very well. Wrote about him on Prep Reds on North Carolina. Now Kim. Now I put him as an athlete. And then he plays on both sides of the ball. I didn't discredit him. We got to put one on one side, one on the other.
Hey, Mama Kim, she been going hard in the comments for years, pal.
But KD,
hey, shout out to her though, man. That's Mama been in here day one, telling everybody how good her baby been from the jump.
Yeah. But he's been good for years. KD has never had a bad year, and Kim has been an outstanding mom.
Absolutely. Let's see here. Mike Eddie shouting out half of the West Charlotte team. I'm just kidding. All those guys are really talented. Talked to most of them in the preseason when I visited over there. So all those guys right there are essential pieces to what they do on both sides of the ball, for sure. Let's see. Yes, Miss Finch. I like Rakim a lot. I talked to him when I went over there, committed to Air Force at the receiver spot, and he played very well in the Jamboree this past weekend. Let's see here.
Man, look at the parents in here. I love it, man.
Oh man. Oh, this is nothing. Y'all should see my DMs, man. I tell you.
Make sure you get them indie boys in there now.
Shout them out.
No, I start naming them. I let the comments do. I start naming. I leave somebody out, get in trouble at practice.
Karen Delp shouting out Nick Reddish.
Yeah, we got a lot of guys coming back, man. We had a lot of guys coming back off our defense too, man. It's a lot of guys, and I can't wait to get them started, man.
Whoa, cuz take that hat back off.
Yeah, I'm lying. I'm grinding. I'm coaching, man.
I just found a good barber boy.
I can highlight a couple guys I think that's going under the radar out of this senior group, though.
Go ahead.
I know Jane Jones gets a lot of credit at running back being the best in the state, but I wholeheartedly believe we have the best 1-2 punch at running back with Travis Hill and Jane Jones, man. Travis Hill is a do-it-all guy for us in the backfield. Great kid, great family. At receiver, we got our guy Ricky Myers, who's very underrated. That's a true athlete for us out there in that senior group. On defense, we got guys like Elijah Sellers, who's a senior who's been flying under the radar, who's picked up some offers this offseason. We got John Snipes, another guy who's flying under the radar, making a lot of big plays for us, man. And, just to highlight just a couple of seniors that I know that's kind of flying under the radar, who's kind of been playing in big roles since they kind of been in high school. Yeah, man, I just wanted to make sure I just highlight those seniors who's been here with us, man. And obviously on the O-line, man, y'all know Big Nori White, 3-year starter, one of the best O-linemen in the state, man. And, you know, like I said, man, I can go for days when I just start naming all our kids, man. But, you know, I'm excited to see everybody, man. But, like, we got a lot of guys. I mainly want to keep it with the seniors, man, and just, you know, just give them those guys those credit. Keep your eyes out for them. A lot of guys we asking to step up, make some plays, but you know, we're gonna be senior led this year, so that's what we're looking forward to.
There it is. All right, we got some more. Michael Griffin Jr., linebacker, probably the best linebacker in the state over at West Charlotte. Let's see here. Jamil Watson, talked with him over in the preseason at West Charlotte. He was a good kid to talk to, man. I really like that young man. Very confident. He's gonna be a really good player, man, before his career is over. Let's see here. We got we got a lot. Davion Jones, of course, he was shouted out earlier. Thank you, Ford boy. Who else? Oh, well, we got a shout out from Grryer. He says appreciates all the love. Seriously, you gotta do a great job. Okay. Well, we appreciate your cameo. You know, if you want to come on, man, shoot me a text. I'll shoot you the link. We'll do a little impromptu interview if you feel so compelled, sir. I don't see a text message yet, so we ain't gonna do that yet. Yeah. So shouting out Nori right there.
Hey, Jadavius, who you think the best 1-2 puncher is, man? I seen your comment. We ain't got put up. Who you think is the best 1-2 puncher at running back? I'll tell you right now, you're already starting minus 2,000 with one arm. So
I think I'm gonna be honest. Look at James Robinson. I know we ain't talk about him.
They don't got what we got, Rob. I'm just gonna tell you, they don't got what we got, man.
And not only they got a freshman. Well, he's a sophomore now. Then you got LJ, a senior.
That's great. They're good players. Not gonna take nothing away from the production they had on the field. But you already know, our first guy, you got to be able to get over 2,000 and get in the conversation.
Yeah, Jade is the guy. I won't argue that.
I'm just telling you.
What did you
Travis Hill is one of those guys. Travis Hill can easily go to another school in Charlotte or in the state and start at running back.
What was his numbers though? I'm playing devil's advocate.
I don't know his numbers off top. I just know he always scores every time he gets a chance to get in the game. He's 1 or 2 touchdowns on the ground, in the air, however you want it with Trav, you're gonna get it with Trav.
Well, the two Jan Robinson running backs both went for 1,000. They both went for a stack and multiple touchdowns. I think double digit touchdowns. So I just want to play devil advocate because I think they got one of the 1-2 punches. I'm not saying they're the number one team, but we could put them up there too in that conversation.
All right. Well, comments are going after. I don't know. What the heck? Big Eye, they trying to go after your boy, man. They ain't right.
Man, that's all is well, man.
Come on, James Law. Come on, man.
Pass, man. All is well. Hey, it's a good thing. That's why we love tomorrow. Like I say, every comment, everything got to get handled in within these next couple months.
Hey, Pep, he growing up right in front of our eyes, man. I'm proud of you.
Oh yeah, our second guy, he had 10 touchdowns.
Travis Hill. There you go.
Travis Hill had, let me see, he rushed for 5, 15, 10 touchdowns. Only had 76 carries. It ain't like he's getting 100 carries.
There you go. Let's see here. More comments. So Ford boy, who I know that ain't your name, man. He wants to hear something about West Charlotte's quarterback. So we talked briefly about Jamori, but his arm is very strong and accurate. He performed very well over the summer in 7-on-7 competition. Coach Grryer, said that they've gone out and won multiple, championships, on the tournaments and college campuses, and they've never done that before. Obviously at our CFI Carolina's Mega Showcase, he was a top 5 selection for his performance there. And I think his leadership, people really respect him, over there on that team. And, if you give me a couple minutes, you might have a special guest who shares some more about the West Charlotte quarterback. Hang tight. Terrence Losh. Officially, high school football season, Pep is holding court. Well, that's the Charlotte show, man. The Charlotte show is, that's what it is.
Hey, Pep, another thing I would say about this conference, too, man, you want to talk about some athletes and some dogs. I'll tell you what, boy, you come to any of them games, man, you're going to see some of the best talent in the state.
Yes.
Like right there in that conference, man. It's tough, man.
And I mean, I think, Zay, you talked about it, the difference between Charlotte football and other areas. And I tell you, it is night and day. It is absolutely night and day.
Easily. You don't got to go that far to see the difference of night and day.
You're exactly right.
Hey, I had a joke. Me and my boy Coach Mines that played at Mallard Creek when they won those 3 state championships and coach with us now in Independence. I always tell guys, once you go past the outdoor world, man, it's a different ball game. If you know what I mean, you know what I mean. Hey, once you go past the outdoor, if you go past the outdoor world, or if you're coming the other way,
oh man,
hey, from Shelby to outdoor world, it's a different ball game.
I'm laughing because if you go the other way up 85 out of Charlotte, you can also pass an outdoor world where it makes a difference.
I'm just telling you, hey. I'm just saying, man. Hey, man. I'm telling you,
oh my gosh. Oh, this is great. This is great. All right. We're gonna have a special guest here in just a minute. So while we wait for that, let's go to the Greater Metro Athletic Conference. Now, this conference has 3 teams out of Charlotte, and I haven't had a chance to talk about them yet. We talked about Cabarrus County 2 weeks ago, so I'm not going to really talk about the teams listed here from Cabarrus County, but Olympic, Harding, and Berry will be the ones that we focus here on in this conference. But I've got Olympic winning this conference, and initially I had a different ranking here, but when I got out to some jamborees, I talked to some people, I changed a lot of this around, and I mean a lot. It was way different before this, but I think Olympic can win this conference. A.L. Brown was going to be a lot better this year. Matt Jenkins at West Cabarrus, I never bet against a Matt Jenkins team. I trust what Kenneth tells me about Central Cabarrus. I think they're going to be a lot better this year under Coach Kiefer. What I saw last week with Harding was really impressive. They're going to be a lot better. And Coach Doug, you probably saw a little bit of that as well. Really impressed with what Coach Cunningham has done as far as not only keeping the talent that was there, because they didn't really lose much, or I don't think they lost anyone, to be honest. But they also, have had some guys develop, and there'll be some new names doing some things there. Of course, with Cox Mill and then Hickory Ridge and then Berry. And even Berry, they're there not because they don't have talent, because they do. Coach Marsh, it's not because y'all don't have talent. It's because of the number situation and then trying to, compete for 4 quarters, week in and week out. So that's my thoughts here with this league. What do you guys think about this?
I seem to have a little insight with this conference. 1
minute.
I think
we'll come back.
I think Cosmere deserves to be high. I think even though they may have lost a couple guys for whatever reason, I think they're going to be a sleeper team. I think they're going to be better than what people think they are. I think they'll finish top 3 in the conference. I think with this conference, I think it's pretty much going to be top heavy. I think you put Cosmere up there just with Olympic and A.L. Brown. It's going to be good games. I think this is one of the conferences too where they only going to get 2 non-conference games. So they pretty much going to be getting ready for playoffs week 3 or whatever case may be.
All right. So let's table our conversation with this conference. We're going to come right back to it, but I'm going to switch gears and I'm going to bring on somebody who wants to come on the show, the Charlotte show, and have a conversation. I'll put you guys in the background for now because I want to talk to him and get his thoughts. That is West Charlotte head coach Sam Grryer.
How you doing, brother?
I'm good, man. How you doing?
I appreciate the invite, and I think you guys do a great job. Thanks for welcoming me to talk a little football. Appreciate you.
Well, I appreciate you coming on our show. Now, as I've said before, I don't want to get you in trouble.
No, I can come on the show. Look, you're still doing your job. I'm still a coach, and you're doing your job like you're just talking to one of the coaches right now.
Okay. I want to make sure that I cut that up and send it to the people that need to know that.
Oh, here we go. Here we go. I love it. Yeah,
all right,
raise my pay a little bit. You know, I'm negotiating my contract this year. Contract year.
Oh man! All right. Well, jokes aside, how's the start of the season going for you guys so far?
It's going really well. You know, like we say, you know, 7-on-7 ain't really football, but whenever you have a chance that you go through that season undefeated, it's pretty spectacular to see those guys compete because you never know. Like, it's a coin flip to get the ball first. There's no halftime. You go against a stout offense and it's hard to stop them. Then eventually you just playing the catch-up game and you can't win. But we were able to win the Chapel Hill tournament and win the South Carolina tournament. And, you know, we were trying to represent North Carolina well when we went over to South Carolina and went against South Point, who was really good, won on a last-second play at the end, being very resilient on that aspect. That's good. The summer lifting was the main key, you know, like trying to navigate. You know, at one point in time, we had 176 kids on the roster, and that's a lot of kids. And, you know, we're excited.
That came up. So what went into the decision on you know, trying to trim that down?
Yeah, so I give a lot of leeway too. I believe that I've had to learn over the years. I've been ridiculed a little bit that I've overstepped my boundaries and try to do too much, but I do a lot of, like, the JVs is Jawan Edwards, and you know, he's been with me for a long time. He does a great job. He went to Butler High School, one of the great players that played in college and in the state, and he does a great job of discipline. The JV does a great job of seeing the big picture, and he made the decisions. He had free will of, like, hey, this is what's going to happen. We don't have enough. We're going to dress 59 guys on the JV. You know, scrimmage come up. We're going to do something with Palisades tomorrow night. And love to see everybody come out there. We're going to play them at 8 p.m. There's some other teams that are going to be involved before that. It'd be great to see where they're at. And but we don't want to have kids that have been practicing, and we're not going to cut until the official start day. So there have been guys that have been working all summer. We want to see work ethic. But it comes down to, if a kid is afraid to go in, you know, like, there's some kids are just like, hey, these guys are big. These guys are fast. And, you know, you're a third string guy and you get into the fourth string guy and you're afraid to just go out there and compete. It was more of a liability issues. And he thought there were some liability issues. And he's like, look, I think we need to trim down a little bit. And I said, hey, it's all on you. I trust you. And a lot of those, you know, we're going to dress 10 of those JV guys eventually for 8 quarter. So, you know, he was taking all that in accountability. He says, I probably want roughly 70 guys on JV and let them compete for like a job week to week. And you never know when injuries are going to come out. And he's still going to allow them, like, long as they're Dragonfly, everything's been done. If they want to return back when school starts, that's going to be open door, but they're not guaranteed that they're going to play or even dress in a game. And I thought that was very fair of him. And I respect what he said, and I follow up behind it and said, okay, let's go.
Wow. Now that is impressive, man. That is impressive.
I mean, we had a hard time putting a JV together when I first got there, and now you're at a point where it's a beautiful thing. You know, I think that if you look at, you know, we were a 3A school. A lot of people ridiculed, you know, West Charlotte. Well, how are they 3A? They're 4A. Look, we play by the rules, whatever they give us. We played in a 4A conference, and it was very time. Got our head kicked in from the Mallet Creeks to the Huffs and all that stuff. And yes, we haven't beat Huff. And I know we had a little, we could talk about that too. I'd love to talk about that. That'd be great.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about it, you know, because that's been a big topic tonight, is the fact that you guys, you know, did not, you know, play well, obviously, against Huff last year and lost 40-14. And, you know, there's been some debate on where, you know, you guys should be ranked versus Huff in the preseason and all that. We had Cam Williams on the show earlier. He said he put you at number 2 in his Charlotte ranking that he's doing this year. And he's
a little confused. 1. It's all good. It's a little confusing. It's all good. I mean, the thing is this, like, I get it. You know, preseason doesn't mean anything. We went to go, like I said, we went to 7-on-7s with Huff earlier on, and they had like it's something about beating a team you haven't beat in a while, and you had to get over a hump. If people go through the season last year, we didn't understand who we really were until we went through some adversity. Then we started learning who we were, and then when the kids get confident, you got a young group. I mean, you're talking about a young group like sophomores, freshmen playing, first-year quarterback playing, and he really starting to get ownership of who he is. The O-line learning what they're doing. All those situations come into the fold, and when you hit your ground running and you figure out who you are, you become a different team. Our goal is not necessarily to win the first game, the fourth game. We want to win all the games, but at the end of the day, we want to win a championship because that's what's remembered. We would love to go undefeated this year. Obviously, we're going to fight our tail off to win every game we play. And but at the end of the day, if someone said, hey, you're going to lose 3 games but win a state championship, or you can go all the way undefeated but lose the championship, I'm gonna choose the championship, you know. And so that's kind of what we go into. Even when we do our scheduling, it is very mapped out RPI wise. I understand the format now, and I want to make sure that we have one of the highest RPIs because I want the concession stands for playoffs, because you got to split other monies, but you ain't splitting. You're not splitting the concessions. You know.
Now I gotta ask, because the schedule came up, and a lot of people are asking, why did you not play Huff in the regular season?
And that's why I'm gonna break it down right here. We know, I mean, 90%. If we're healthy, they're healthy. 8A is the top classifications, but it's probably not the deepest. Okay. So like let's just be the straight facts about things. There's some really good teams. There's some top heavy teams in the 8A, and there's some teams that can really find themselves from the Palisades to other teams that are really good, and they're climbing the ladder fast. But if you look at 7A, that's probably the deepest class. I'm not saying it's the best class necessarily, but what you have to understand is like it's all based upon RPI. So if you play against Grimsley, you play against South Point, you play against Monroe, then Monroe, no one can question our strength of schedule. I think we're the only team in a long time that's played back-to-back state champions the first 2 games, and potentially a state champion in South Carolina the 3rd game. And so then you look at our conference, and I'm like, come on. So honestly, we thought Huff, when we looked at the maps of their conference they're playing in, I thought, they're probably heavy favorites to win their conference. We'll look at it as a media standpoint and outside of a coach here. And we want to make sure that their RPI is not as good as someone that's coming out of our conference. So we encourage the Malley Creeks and everybody, why would you play them? If you're going to have to see them, if Malley Creek or us has possibly had to see them, there's a little bit of an advantage if you're playing at home or not. And so let's make sure that their RPI doesn't have nothing to gauge off of that, and make them play the conference schedule that they have, and the non-conference, y'all go find games. I mean, that's exactly what they had to do. And they picked a good schedule for them, but there's no arguing. Of course they'd want to play us because it's going to help their RPI. We're not helping that aspect. We'll see in the playoffs. And honestly, we'd like to see them when they're a little bit more vulnerable in that area.
Wow. Okay. So can we settle once and for all? Because we've heard from you earlier on this, and we've heard from Coach Baker on this. Who's the king of Charlotte then?
I mean, it's 100% West Charlotte right now. It's just, I mean, it's kind of a joke to talk about. We're the kings of Charlotte right now. We're on the throne, and the going into owning that and keeping that is a different thing. That's what we plan on doing, and showing the city that we're going to represent you well. And we're excited, and we want to be able to take over the 704. We want to take it, not just Charlotte. We want to take it beyond that. But at the end of the day, like Huff can say, yeah, they're the top on senior drive right now because we ain't beat them in so long. Oh yeah, true, no doubt. Just at the end of the year, we finished the job, and the last time I checked, as good as they're the kings of Cornelius, and they're great at it. But we are in Charlotte, they're not.
Man.
That's simple.
Oh my gosh. So we have a question here. It says, who's the king of Mecklenburg County?
I would say, as of right now, if you're talking about champion, it would still be us. If you're talking, are you talking about, it's a 2-part question. Regular season, Huff. It's not even a question.
Okay.
I would say that. Yeah, no doubt. Who cares about anything outside of what happens this year? Like last year we won. That's good. That's fine. But that's in the past now. We plan on trying to make a statement this year. We're very confident who we are. I think that this is a chance that, you can really, at the end of the year, I think this could be a magical year where you say West Charlotte is one of the best teams in the nation. And I'm not afraid to say that, and I'm excited about it. And I think that we had to climb the ladder to get there, and we're going to try to own being there and represent our city the best we can.
Yeah, how do you feel about, you guys are not ranked nationally, but 2 teams in your conference are ranked nationally?
Yeah, honestly, I think the state polls get things a little bit more closer to correct, you know what I'm saying, outside of like Cameron Williams or something like that, trying to put this on too. Other than that, I think that the national ranks is about longevity a lot of times. And, when West Charlotte when we got there 5 years ago, we weren't where we're at now, obviously. And I think that it takes time for the nation to understand, all right, this team is really good nationally. I think it just takes a little bit more time for them to figure that stuff out. And we don't mind showing them throughout the year that will change.
All right. Well, what can we expect week 1 now at Bank of America Stadium with you guys?
You getting your clip ups, man. I like it. This is good.
I don't plan on clipping anything. I'm just talking to you.
Oh, you can let it go. I love it. This is good. Watching them, we went over to their scrimmage versus Mooresville. They are extremely, gigantic, as good as advertised. I mean, the offensive line's huge, tight end's huge. They got playmakers from 5 to 1s playing defense, and defense as sound as can be. They're not going to give us anything. They're not just going to like take us for granted either. They're well coached. It's exciting. I think you can say they're the best team in the state, and I'm excited to play the best team in the state because I think we're the best team in the state. And it's going to be, at the end of the day, you're going to find out who really is. And at the end of that game, at least at the Bank of America Stadium, like, including Huff, you're going to find out, if you want to come see 3 of the best teams without a doubt in the state, get your ticket. Get your $8 ticket and pay your little $3 fee, get multiple tickets. I think $8 after that. And I think you at the end of the day can say, okay, Huff, okay, West Charlotte, okay, Grimsley, who you can make a great decision, an educated decision if you just came to that game and find out. Now, there's a lot of other teams as the year goes on, how things grow and pan out. You'll find out more with our conference, from the Independences, the Mallard Creeks to, Butler, that with Hale's coming back, he's got a little prestigeness that's just hard to, he's going to grind out and get things better as the year goes on. So there's a lot of great coaches on those 7A, 8A levels. The 6As and the 5As, like we went against Sun Valley the other day. Yeah. And even though we did well, they're a very good football team. Like I can see them being one of the top teams in Union County, no doubt. Really good. So it showed that, I think that it shows how good we can be too.
Absolutely, man. Well, I appreciate you coming on here and kind of cheating on your other employer there.
Oh, here we go. Look, man, like you asked to come on here, and I'm excited to be a part of it. And thank you. You do great work, all you guys do, and deep down inside, Coach Dub really is a West Charlotte fan, and I'm proud of him, man. Just tell him, hey.
Well, we ain't gonna let you run away. We'll bring the guys. You're in CFI territory, so I got to give the guys a chance to say something to you.
Come on, come on.
What's going on, Griner?
How you doing, brother?
Not much.
Big Shelby, I tell you. Yeah, that might be my kryptonite. It might not be Huff. It might be Cleveland County. I'm gonna tell you that right now.
I already know how I get for you when you come down that road, man.
Zaflex, man, I tell you. You went up the ladder quick. They must be paying you good checks.
You see, CFI does not have a budget, so.
Oh, he's lying to y'all. He's lying to you guys. I know a few that he does pay, and so y'all might need to renegotiate too. It's a negotiating year for me, so I'm just.
So they get paid in random food and other events.
I might be more expensive if you take Big Shelby out somewhere because I know that he's a wing eater now.
Well, he's the one that doesn't show up. You know, everybody else show up.
I've been having a very busy schedule. Very busy schedule.
Let's not get into that on here. All right, guys, you got anything for Coach Grryer while he's here?
I do. Brian, I'm glad you came up here and clarified it, because most fans are going to think it's fans. And, you know, coach to coach, when you're building a program, you got to look at it different. Like, it would have made absolutely no sense for you guys to play Huff in the conference that you're in, because they'll be doing more feeding off of your conference schedule than you feeding off their conference schedule. Because it would actually, I would argue, it would hurt you playing them.
Without a doubt.
But also another thing too, going into building programs, if you built a great program at West Charlotte, and we watch you do it, and you did it the right way, building it in steps, how would you say the next challenge this year after coming off a championship? Because you've done it before. This is your second championship. I think someone mentioned you're the only other coach in CMS history besides Tommy Knox to have won 2 championships at 2 different schools as a head coach. And I was trying to think about that. I think that's accurate. I'm not sure if I know anyone else has done it.
Yeah, normally a coach is pretty good. They don't let go of, and they probably just stay at the schools. So
yeah,
I was in a unique situation, and Pep Man didn't want to, keep me. He controls who the coach is at Harding. And so basically got rid of me at Harding and just said,
what in the world is this?
Hey, some of that
hold on. Hey, this is true. And this is true. Let's speak some facts here. So they had this beautiful Harding,
wow,
Hall of Fame meeting. The first Hall of Fame meeting, and I'll tell you what, this is the craziest thing. It kind of hurt my heart a little bit. And, and Matt could tell you, Pat Man could tell you if this is true or not, but the man wasn't there. I showed up for my team because we were recognized as a team as one of the best ever. And it was a Hall of Fame deal. And we were there, and I was going to support that. But there was a football coach that didn't win a state championship that was recognized in the Hall of Fame that wasn't successful as maybe, what we did. But Tommy Knox is a big name, and they made him the Hall of Fame. But last time I checked, he got there, but he didn't win at Harding. So that put a little stab in me. So I was like, okay, man, all right.
Wow.
Maybe you didn't want me to be in there. So that hurt me a little bit. Now the other question, you said what's different about this year? I would love to elaborate on that for a second. I think there's a big difference of climbing to try to be number one or try to be a champion. Owning number one is a whole different mindset. Because like I tell everybody, you're out there with a bullseye on you, and people are hunting you, and they're gonna try to measure themselves to you. You're the measuring stick. So you can't take days off, because if there's blood in the water anyways, you give anybody hope that we can compete with them, they're going to play at a different level, and it could get scarce and scary for you in a game. So every process from weightlifting to the ownership of this team, the players that lead it, I think that's the difference now, that as midway through the year last year, this team became more of a player-led team than I've ever been around. And we might be able to small correct, do the film things, but they take ownership of competing and know what it takes to be a champion. And we were down in games in the playoffs versus Hickory and still were able to come back because they had a belief nah, this ain't happening. This ain't, this is happening again. They're like, no, we're different now. And I think that mindset is staying with us because we have so many of those returners coming back. It's not like you won a state championship and you graduated 75% of those guys. You got 95% of those kids coming back, and that mindset that got them to the championship is still there, and that's what makes things special. Us as a coaching staff is just always redirecting the small stuff, but the overall mindset, it's on them.
For sure. One more question. Building programs, 'cause I'm getting, coach to coach, just seeing what people don't see. Because really the magic is made what people don't see. People think that, it just goes into 48 minutes on Friday. I mean, there's a lot of sacrifice away from your family, a lot of time, and we talk about it all the time. I mean, really, during the season, we're working 7 days a week because you should be doing something every day. If it's not studying film or coaching meetings or whatever on the weekend, then we got to go back and do what the job that pays our bills, right? How have you been able to build that consistency? Because I think, Grryer, you not only do you win on the field, you also went off the field. Like, you're a strong advocate for your players. Like, talk a little bit about that. Like, what gives you the passion to like advocate? Because every coach ain't built equal. Everyone's not advocating for their players.
Yeah, and I think it becomes a trust. You know, let's just be honest. In the world, you know, to the world, people are going to look at me. I could be, you know, clean shaved, nice haircut type deal, and I'm a white guy in an environment that I don't look like I should be in. Okay, people can see that from me. I say, oh, they can say, oh, well, he's got dreads, he's trying to fit in, or da 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 da. The one people that will tell you the truth all the time are the people you're around your whole life, like your family, your football team. I can't lie to them. They know that I care about them, and they care about me. And when Tough got going, you know, the first couple of years, there's some things happening. They rally behind me, and I always will rally behind them as well. Like, it's a love. Like, you really love each other. And I think that's the main thing, that there's a trust that they know no matter what, if I ask them to do something, I might be right, I might be wrong, but they're going to trust it, and they're going to go about it with full belief and conviction and not emotion. And they play with conviction, and they'll take ownership of kind of your identity as a head coach. And I'm a very competitive individual. Sometimes it rubs people the wrong way that I'm arrogant. I'm not arrogant. I'm just, you better be confident in this game and believe in what you do, because I want my players to feel the exact same way. And I think that's one of the unique things that maybe I do bring to the table, that they really take ownership. And when they do, it's special. And like, they really own that aspect of like, oh yeah, we know we're good. Let's go. Come get some of this West Charlotte. And that's pretty cool. But it all started with trust. They know I love them and I love them. And I mean, I know that they love me too, for they fighting for me. And that bond is a real family. We spend more time with each other than sometimes our own families. So I think that's important.
Absolutely. Well, I appreciate that. Keep doing what you're doing, brother. Good luck.
Appreciate you, man. Godspeed.
Thank you, Coach Dub. All right, Sam, I know it's late. I got to give you one last one. This is Cam. He says, to beat a man, you got to beat the man. Sam, you got the ring, still hadn't beat the Huskies. Will it change this year in the playoffs?
It makes no sense, like what he says. So it's like, all right, WWF, okay? You go out there for a regular match. It's not for the title, and you hadn't beat them, but all of a sudden you get a chance to go compete for a title, and you win the title, and you're walking around with the belt. To beat a man, I said, Ric Flair, to beat a man, you got to beat the man. Well, Ric Flair had the belt a good bit. So like, I know he's trying to build up something. Like, Cameron is cute. It's cute. You know what I'm saying? But like, at the end of the day, you chose Hickory too. Okay. You can't be Hickory. Like, listen, credibility goes out the door when you're wrong so much. And, and the deal is like, it is what it is. Like, I'm not taking anything. Huff is amazing, and Baker's great. Like, their players are great. I mean, we got one of our players went over there to go play for him. So, you know, he's going to be a great player, but I'm excited to see them. If we get an opportunity to see them in the playoffs, I'm excited about it. And I think that it would make zero sense, like Coach Dub said. Like, say they beat us in the regular season, okay? Say they beat us in the regular season, and say we won the conference. Okay, now it makes it look like our conference is not as strong as it is. You see what I'm saying? The RPI goes down. Certain things go down about it. It made zero sense to play that game when our schedule is already extremely difficult. Who would rather see? Did they want to see us and Huff, or they want to see two champions play two at the first game? You see what I'm saying? And I'm not going to be able to see Grims in the playoffs because they're 7A. But that's a good comparable. You want to start comparable things at the end of the season. You know, if West Charlotte's able to defeat Grimsley and say we won a championship and they won a championship, then you can easily argue, okay, well, West Charlotte's by far the best team in the state because they beat the other team, and vice versa for them. You see what I'm saying? If we played Huff in the regular season, we might see them again, and they do a really good job of coaching. So maybe it's a strategy involved that I'd rather catch them the first time than trying to beat them a second time. So there's a lot of that that goes in. They do a great job, staff, and they got a lot of gadgets. I mean, they got like special computers and stuff, and analytics. And You know, Chachi's got some type of stealing sign things with camera. Who knows?
Oh boy. All right. Right. Well, the last comment here before I let you go, Chris Hawk says Sam freaking Grryer better come out to the pyro effects and theme music before each game.
That's good stuff. That's good. I hear you, brother.
All right. Well, Sam, I appreciate you coming out on, impromptu at that. This was not planned,
No. Yeah, definitely. I got called out. I'm a guy that, someone calls me out. I'm there. Let's go. Outside of Huff playing in the regular season.
All right. Well, we're going to end on that note. Sam, I'll see you. I'll be at Bank of America, so I'll definitely see you down there, man.
Good deal. Appreciate you guys, man. Do a good job. How about Big Shelby? Don't got no comment for me. His boss told him, like, do not talk to that man. It's sad,
Ain't no Pep man Rob on there. Nah, man. I wish you the best every week, but when the week you play us, man. That's all.
I got you. Where y'all playing at this year? Remember there was controversy. Us didn't want to play Independence last year. Ask them where they play at this year.
Hey, man. I just show up wherever the bus takes us, man.
So it must be a road game if you're getting on the bus. Okay.
All right. Thanks, Sam. Appreciate it, man. All right. That's Sam Grryer, head coach from the West Charlotte Lions, joining the Charlotte Preview Show at a very late hour. And I'll put it at that, too. And that, like I said, that was not planned. And I really appreciate him doing that. So what do you guys think of that?
Man, it'd have been good if you'd have got Baker on here too. Just let him go ahead and
I don't have Baker, but I do have someone else who wants to come on the show here. And I'm gonna bring him on. I think he might be ready. And let me put you guys in the background.
Oh man, we ain't never gonna get to the other conference.
We have a second special guest here. You there? Chachi? Well, let me know when you're ready, because we're gonna see if we're gonna talk to him and get his thoughts on some things here as we work that out on live. While I work this out, I'm gonna bring the guys back. Let's go back to this conference. And
hey, what is going on tonight, man?
Hey,
Pep is starting.
We're producing on the run. We're producing on the run tonight. All right.
Hey, I think it's
let's
might
go back
though. That's all.
And talk about what we have here in this league. Adam, what were your thoughts?
Like I said, I was saying earlier, man, I think Cos Mills is a sleeper team, man. I think they're going to be easily in the top three. I think a lot of teams on the list. Yeah, I think a lot of these teams on the list pretty much kind of been hit by a lot. I think Olympic, A.L. Brown, and Cos Mill are kind of be at the top. I know Coach Holmes does a good job with their team over there. He's been building something consistently for the last couple of years he's been there. And I think they'll be a sleeper team. I think it's one of the more balanced, I would say, conferences in the area where, like, with the talent kind of top to bottom, I think pretty much everybody can probably beat somebody in the conference. I don't think it's a conference where the bottom team is always looking up. Like, I think Berries will be able to beat or hang with just any of the teams in that bottom kind of tier, whatever the case may be. Mm-hmm. But like I said, I think it's one of the good balanced ones where I think they kind of got it right. Now, I don't know the travel with everything. I know A.M. Brown's out there in Kannapolis. I don't know how much traveling all these teams are doing, but yeah, man, I think
it's a good bit.
It's a good bit of travel going on.
Now, not as much as Mountain Island, but it's still
traveling 14 hours their season.
To play a JV game too.
So it's all right, man. It's all right, man. Coach Washington, Mount Island, they got a good budget down there. They make sure them kids fed all the time. So give them a Chick-fil-A sandwich and put them on a bus.
All right. So Coach Marsh, I said this earlier before we pivoted to Sam Grryer, but that's a numbers thing. It's not a talent deal. I think you guys have good talent. It's just the numbers that hold up for 4 quarters, in this league. Now, I saw your comment about Harding as well. Now, I've seen Harding. That had an effect on me. They look much improved. I have not seen you guys yet, in a scrimmage situation. So, I have to go off the information that I have, to make these kind of choices and decisions. But, this list is very fluid, as we like to say on this show. So, there are some people who feel like you guys should be higher. Like J-Man, he says you guys should be fourth. So, there you go. All right.
And
Go ahead.
And Pep, I want to say that add to this, like even with the Berry coaches, because I feel like in CMS we got the best coaches in the entire state. Like, I mean, you can't really name a bad head coach in CMS. Like even with Juke going to Garinger, think about it. Garinger was considered, the lowest ranked team in CMS if you had to rank them, right, last year. But I think CMS has gotten better with coaching. Like, look at Hardin's new coach, outstanding guy. I mean, I had a chance. Obviously, we were scrimmaging right after him, and I had a chance to watch them. And I've never seen Hardin in a long time, like maybe in the last 5 years, execute the way they did. And I get it; it's only a jamboree, but when you're a new coach, you're trying to, prove yourself or whatnot, or trying to get, put your thing, your highlight what you do best, and they did it, man. They look absolutely great. Now, to put it in perspective, who they was playing, I don't know if that was an even matchup, but on paper it was. But they absolutely dominated. But and also the team they was playing is also an up and coming team too that can really play. But I was really impressed out of Hardin. I think Hardin's going to surprise some people. Hardin's going to win a couple games, and even Philip O'Berry, because like you said, like Berry could beat Hickory Ridge, right? Hickory could beat some of the teams that's ranked above him. I mean, Berry could beat some of the teams ranked above him. So I think this is one of the most. It's going to be one of the more competitive leagues where. You might see each team lose to somebody in the conference at least once. And I think, Big Eye, you said that same thing, but I like this conference.
All right, we're going to pause because we're not done, but we got to go to another special guest that we're going to bring on the show. So this is the Fluid Show. You guys are watching a good show. You guys are watching a good show tonight. Hang tight. Now, I want to bring on the defensive coordinator for the Huff Huskies, Chachi Sullivan, to the show.
How you doing, Pep?
I'm good, man. How you doing?
Man, I'm sorry for the technical difficulties. I was trying to get on while Sam was on spewing that nonsense.
Oh, I didn't know you wanted to do that. I'm sorry.
Oh man, listen, spewing nonsense. You cutting kids. You cutting kids because of uniforms and helmets. See, that's a money game. You take that game, you don't have to cut those kids.
Oh, and you're talking about playing you guys.
Oh man, listen. You drove to Huff to play Sun Valley. You had the opportunity to scrimmage us too. The scrimmage wouldn't have counted. Thank you. Right? Duck and smoke.
Now did they have a chance to do that?
Yeah, they had a chance to do that. We needed a week 1, a week 3, a week 5, and a scrimmage.
Okay.
Right.
And they didn't want to do any of that.
He wanted to come to Huff and take on the pleasantries, but he didn't want to scrimmage us. He scrimmaged Sun Valley.
Why? Why?
What do you mean? Why? You just got off the phone. You just got off with a politician.
No. Why did he want to scrimmage? Is what I mean. I'm sorry.
Why? He knows exactly why. He didn't get 40 points worth of doggone kids to come in there. He can say that they were young. We had young guys too.
Okay.
At the end of the day, he didn't want that smoke. He didn't want the smoke. He got on here and talked all around the question. He used how bad our conference will be. He was in the same conference with us last year. We gave up 24 points. He was a part of that. So I know this probably don't make Coach Baker happy, but enough is enough, Sam. Your politics are done.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Well, what else you want to get off your chest?
I want to make sure that was out there. Like, wait a minute, we need a week, 1 week. I get it. You don't want to play. Not only he was also begging people not to play Huff. He doesn't want. This is what I want the state to do. If anybody's out there, they can make it happen. If we're fortunate enough to make the playoffs at Huff High School, we would love to play West Charlotte round 1 at West Charlotte. Just put us there and get it over with. How disrespectful
Wow.
is it? How disrespectful is the guy talking around Mallard Creek, who's also beat him? He beat
Okay.
Mallard Creek.
Okay.
They're still in the conference. Somehow we're not in the conference. It's unfortunate. But Mallard Creek's still in the conference, and Mallard Creek's beat them.
Yeah.
And there's no 3A high schools with 2,600 students. So stay on task and make sure that they classify us based on the number of students. 2,600 students at West Charlotte. They won 3A. Well, there's no other 3A school with that number of kids. Everybody else with that number of kids played in the same league.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I wish I would have got you on Sam. We could have had this out.
And lastly, tell Big Shelby, because I can't get the Big Shelby. I love him.
No, he's here.
Yeah, put him on. Get Big Shelby on here.
All right,
There you
go
go.
ahead.
Big Shelby, I love you, boss, but you know how disrespectful it sounds that Huff hasn't won a meaningful playoff game? Tell that to your kids that showed up in Cornelius.
No, I didn't say that about y'all.
Oh, yeah. See, meaningful playoff game, we played you.
Yep. Y'all beat us last year.
Okay, so your kids played in a meaningless playoff game.
No, I mean, I think not everybody knows the knock on Huff.
Making sure I'm hearing it correctly.
I mean, I think everybody knows the knock on Huff is just playoffs when it comes to playoffs. And I think that's why.
There's a new head coach. The head coach this is year 3 for our head coach.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So just make sure when y'all talking about Huff, you're talking about Deshaun Baker now.
Yeah, that was Washington. You see the comment? That was Coach Washington, not me.
Gotcha. All of you.
I mean, y'all whooped us, so I can't say that. I can't say that. Y'all whooped us. So.
Listen, I'm here for all of it.
Mm-hmm.
So make sure you be careful because we play y'all week 2.
Yep, we'll be back.
Make sure that everything is said. Get back on here week 2. We got business to handle week 1, then week 2, and then whenever we catch up with West Charlotte, they ducking ass.
All right, then. Chachi, I think you made your point, sir.
No, it's going to be, you know what? I'm going to behave differently this year. Everybody going to get the real version of me. There we go.
Okay.
For my head coach, because this is ridiculous.
Okay.
The man ducking. He drove all the way to Cornelius. He could have scrimmaged Sun Valley at West Charlotte. You didn't have to come all the way to Huff to do it.
Well,
thank
you, Chachi. I'll see you soon, man. I'll be at
I wish I could have got on early. Next time, Grinder, just call me the next time Grinder get on.
I got you, man.
We talking about high school football. This man is talking about all the numbers. Man, let your kids want to play us. Our kids want to play them. Put them on there.
I'll talk to you soon, man.
Bye.
What is happening in Charlotte High School football tonight?
God.
And you guys are witnessing history.
If for clarification, and Pat, for clarification, I wish
Go
I
ahead.
got on when Chachi was I should have used better words than meaningless playoff game because there's nothing meaningless about playoffs. So I apologize about that, Chach. But you know what he got a point. You got 2 coaches that's advocating for their program. I don't blame either one of them for that. You know what I'm saying? You got to advocate for your program. And there's a lot of stuff that go on behind the scenes that the normal fans and stuff they don't have insight on, and you got a bunch of insight from 2 very knowledgeable coaches in the game.
I gotta take a second.
Yeah, Rob out here stuff. He into it. I ain't even say nothing about them. I ain't even say nothing about it. That's Rob. That's guy. You got Coach Ross in there. But we gonna see him week 2. But I just want to make sure we clear it up that it was Coach Ross.
Oh my gosh!
I have not won a meaningful playoff game. I mean, it was Coach Ross.
I made the comment, but that was a poor choice of words. I apologize for that. But the good thing about it, big guy, y'all got an opportunity to settle on the field. We're not, you know what I'm saying? Like, we're not even the same classification. So Shout out to Huff. Shout out to what Dub C. It's gonna get interesting on playoff time.
All right. Well, let's
This might be better
Hey,
than Shannon
I'm
Sharp,
gonna
Kevin
tell you
Chadwick.
hey, Chachi almost pulled a Birdman on Breakfast Club.
all right. Well, let's finish up here because I think we got this finished here. Well, let's talk about these players here. There's only 6. 3 on offense for Olympic Harding and Berry. Chance Cato, of course, is a very talented quarterback. I really like Jamarcus Harrison, who was the running back who started the scrimmage. In Gaston County, he runs very hard. Like, he was just dragging guys. And, also plays some defensive line. And then Elijah Britt for Berry. Really talented athlete. He's going to be – I don't think he's going to come off the field because he plays receiver. He can play some DB, and he's also the kicker. So he's always going to be on the field for those guys. And then defensively, I talked with Bryce Nixon at the 704 Media Day. He's talented linebacker for Olympic. Also talked with Jacob Banks, who's the only returning all-conference player for Harding. On the defensive line, they can play some offense as well. And then Miles Smith at Berry, he can also play some linebacker, 6'3", 200-pound prospect. So those are the guys that I wanted to highlight from those schools right there. Kim Watts is saying, watch out for Bryce Nixon. He's a beast. I agree. He is a heck of a player, for sure. We'll write about more of these players, throughout the season. And then we're going to finish up here. These are my preseason best of the last CMS rankings, which now it's kind of taking a back seat to what just happened. But this comes out every year, and I do this throughout the season. I have West Charlotte number 1 and then Huff number 2. And Palisades 3, Independence 4, Mallard Creek 5, and Myers Park 6. And then on down the line right there. So, those rankings will get, shared out on social media along with what Cam did earlier in the show in Cam's Corner with his CMS rankings. Now, I don't include Charlotte Catholic because they're not in CMS, but he does because they're in Charlotte. So that's the only difference. But, yeah, it's 10:48, and we've been on for 2 hours and 46 minutes. Wow. Coach Marsh, I will share this real quick. Berry kids to look out for. Dalen Taylor, he was at the media day. He's a talented offensive line, defensive lineman. Winston Gibson at DB, and I do like Nana Mensah, wide receiver. He is a talented player. One of the best underrated players in the state at the receiver spot. Whew. All right. Well, there's a lot in the comments about the interactions tonight between Coach Grryer and then, Huff defense coordinator Chachi Sullivan. Some of that will probably be out on social media, if not already, very soon. To everybody who watched the show tonight, thank you for your attention and your part in CFI history. In 7 seasons, I have never had back-to-back coaches with dueling comments on several topics. So the Huff West Charlotte rivalry is alive and well. Guys, what do you think?
Great night, man. Great night. The Charlotte show is always full with
Historical.
Charlotte show is always filled with controversy. So I think that might be a first time though you get coaches on there. It might have been even better if you got them on at the same time.
Well, that's what Chachi wanted, and I didn't know that's what he wanted. I was trying to, transition, but I didn't see him pop up anyway. Well, it's what needed to be said was said. And
it's Charlotte football, man. Like, coaches going back and forth, players, all that stuff. But this is what we love about Charlotte football. Tonight was everything we loved about Charlotte football and what we continue to love about Charlotte football and why we're fans of the game. Even as coaches, players, whatever the case may be, this is what makes Charlotte football the best football in the state.
Absolutely. Everybody in the comments seems to love it. people want to send us money. I don't do that, but if you see me, just give me some. Oh, let me say this real quick, y'all. Yes, it was a miracle when I saw the announcement, and I put it on Facebook. When KFC said they're bringing back the hot wings, I did a praise dance. I swear, y'all don't understand, okay? When I was in 4th grade, my mom got me them KFC hot wings when I got home from school one day when I graduated 4th grade, and she got like 12, and I was supposed to split them with my brother, but I got home first and I tasted one. Man, I ain't split nothing. And ever since then, I have had the greatest passion for KFC hot wings, and it has been 2 long years, and now they're back, and I got them today. They taste the same. It looks like nothing has changed. Nothing has changed since the 90s.
Pat,
I swear.
What you had? What did you have? You had some wedges?
I mean, the wedges are, they straight. Yes, the wedges are coming back too. I know a lot of people like the wedges.
I didn't know they took them away. What they been serving?
Fries. They've been serving fries.
They let you know
fries are terrible.
Now, look here. Hold on, Dana Bullock. Where you at? Why are you laughing? You ain't had wings. Go to KFC and get you 6 spicy wings. I'm telling you. You laughing now, but they are delicious. They will change your life. Coach Doug. Now,
yes, sir.
You are my wing brother.
Amen.
You got to go get these wings now.
You already know. You know that's my lunch tomorrow. My wife packed my lunch for tomorrow. Is a wrap.
All right. Zay, you mighty quiet.
Oh no. This was a good show, man.
We talking about the wings. We didn't pass the show.
Oh, the wings. I never had the KFC wings. I'm not gonna lie. I used to have the boneless wings. I used to love the KFC boneless wings. I never had the actual bone-in wings from KFC though. So I think they closed at 12 too. So I'm gonna go try it as soon as I leave here. I'm gonna try it tonight.
How you ain't never had no KFC wings?
They're gonna be closed, man. Where you at?
All right, they close at midnight.
Oh,
where?
Let you know how much I go there.
The one on Freedom Drive, close at midnight. That's the closest one to me.
Zay. Y'all, Adam, you know why? You know what I'm about to say.
That's the closest one. That's the closest one.
Yeah.
Where you want to go? Where you want to go to Valentine?
Hey, Pep. As soon as we get off, I've been.
That's the only one that closed. That's the only one that's open that late, Pep.
Now, first of all, y'all know good and well, you don't go to no fast food restaurant on Freedom Drive at 10 o'clock.
The cookout on Freedom good, though.
Right, the cookout on Freedom good.
Oh, we still live. All right, we got to end the show. See y'all next week.